Good morning, everybody. It's April 25th, 2026, and we're doing the Akai Leagues. Hope everyone's doing really well. Hope you've had a wonderful week. We're well into spring, and, I've been playing a lot of Virtua Fighter, but a lot of it's actually been offline VF. But I hope you've all been able to play a lot of VF too, and I hope you guys are having, again, a great week. Let's join the Akai League, see how everything's going. Let me see here. Making an adjustment there. Alright. There we go. Let's try to get into the room, and then we'll try to get into the voice chat with Akai. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a great week. We're almost into May, but we're at the end of, towards the last week of April. We're getting closer to that. Let's see. Alright, I'm a little groggy because I just woke up, but that's why my voice is a little deeper, or sounding as it does, and why I might be thinking twice whenever I'm trying to think. Oh, nice. Elson Wong's got a room. Laufarius has got a room. We've got, like, Australia. We've also got, South America. Laufarius is from Argentina, and so it looks like Akai's room is not up yet, and that's okay. Sometimes lately, I think he's been getting a start around the 30-minute mark. So, or at least right now, this time. So, let's see.
You'll enjoy this, trust me. Ready?
Round one. Ready, go!
So, we're waiting for Akai's room to start up, and we'll double check on how he's doing. First, we'll get into the voice chat with Akai. Yeah, this week I had already done 3 offline sessions. On Monday, I did our room 122, which is a tap room sessions, which is a big fighting game community session there. Just a normal sized tap room, but we filled the place up pretty much with fighting games, or at least half of it. It's pretty fun. Hey Mustang, good to see you. How's everything going in Colorado? We also do on Thursday. We had a fun session at a venue called Cardboard Diamonds, which is a game store. They have like an extra spare room that I think they use sometimes when they need extra room for tournaments and certain events. But we get to use the room completely on Thursday nights. And that one, it was Virtua Fighter. It's the main audience there is Guilty Gear, but we actually had a good amount of Virtua Fighter going on. Had Dead or Alive 6 going on, had Under Night In-Birth going on, and one of the Guilty Gear players, Andy No Slow PDX, he DJs, and so he would actually DJ at these sessions as well. So it was fun listening to his music as well while we're playing. But he was also streaming too, so he was like bouncing between all 3 of these things. And we had a blast. We had a good showing there as well. And then, of course, yesterday was Friday. So last night we did do our typical Virtua Fridays at Portland Axe Throwing in Portland, Oregon. This one, the owner of Portland Axe is a fan of Virtua Fighter. He follows a lot of our, pretty much all of the Virtua Fighter streams, and enjoys watching the tournaments. Even pops VF on while his customers are there at the shop, and we had a blast. Last night was pretty extra special too. We had even more people there, and more of our local fighting game players that were coming out to try it out, and played a lot of VF, lots of strong VF, but also quite a bit of people throwing axes. They were throwing tomahawks. They were throwing shurikens. And they were throwing shovels. There is a military shovel, it's like a hand-sized shovel, and it's got it's the type that's got like a pointed tip, and so you can throw those into the target as well. Pretty hard to do, but yeah. So that was happening. We also played a little bit of Killer Instinct Gold. and because on the N64, NBA Jam, Soul Calibur 4, and yeah, we're just having a good time. So someone came in for a birthday after midnight over there, and so that was pretty cool too. And they were having fun, and they were the ones that actually initiated the N64 battles, and actually someone was playing ice hockey on the NES as well. Yeah, Spetsnaz shovel there. Yeah. Yeah. So so Mustang says they've been so busy, haven't gotten to play almost any VF since Texas Showdown. It's all good. Like after tournaments, a lot of us actually do intentionally, but usually unintentionally, have like a break from VF after like a big tournament. It feels good, but then you're just kind of like, let's go take care of all this other stuff in life, and then you come back to VF when you feel like, when it's just like time. And it feels really good when that happens. So that is not that rare, right? That happens to me quite a bit as well. I can say after Tiger Uppercut, I took a mental break from VF, even though I was still streaming every week, or at least during the Akai leagues. But that was kind of like almost, and I was doing Chanchai's Dojo, but that was like all the VF I was doing for like a month and a half. That's pretty normal. I just, after Taiwan, after Thailand, and then I was like, I'm just taking this break in a sense, but it's like low committed VF, but I was still improving, which was what was cool. Like I was surprised that I was still playing sharper, and so it was treading a nice balance, for that time. But yeah. Mustard said, I actually had to DQ from VF Bracket for commentary. Okay, yeah, but I think I did a good job on commentary for the top 8. Oh, that's really cool to hear. Glad you did enjoy that. Sorry that you DQ'd from VF Bracket for the commentary, but at the same time, commentary is a lot of fun. And at least you're there with everyone playing VF and enjoying VF, at least on the side. It's fun, so it's good. Alright, I'm going to jump in to see Akai here. And see how it goes. Hey, good morning. How are you doing, Akai?
Just waiting and getting this set up. So,
no problem. All good. Am I supposed to do the JC today or the regular? Because I see that's the draw room. Never mind. You've got the
yeah, I haven't made
test.
the rooms yet. I'm still setting things up. Yeah.
I see. Sounds good.
Let's see. I'm looking for a PowerPoint.
I'm gonna take that moment to do my dailies on my gotcha game, aka P5X. So, let's see here. So Mustang also says, I've had the itch to play, just no time because of another opportunity came up. I'm happy to hear that you've had another opportunity to come up. That's wonderful. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's exciting. I've been looking at a few more opportunities myself, and that's getting pretty exciting too. So, I'm going to cheer for us both. So I'm mostly be lurking while I get shit together for that. All right, that sounds good, Mustang. Sounds good. Good to have you here as lurker. Akai's room is being set up right now. We'll be joining it shortly. I'm going to be chatting with you all while I just, plug in quick daily activities on my gotcha game. I actually almost snorted there. Alright, so what is this? We're watching Tapiru versus Hattori. These are silver level 35. You can see that Japanese level 35 is quite intense, pretty sharp, constant buffering. But yeah, at the Portland, the virtual Fridays at Portland Axe Storing though, we did have a very good showing, and I was really happy. Even though I did play a lot, I was happy watching the people play because I felt like we had the right like pairings for. It's like awesome. We got these two guys, and they're at a similar level, and it's really great that these two will get to fight each other because it's like the best. Like that's gonna be like the most productive VF that they'll get because of where they're both at in the game. And then we got these other two, where you know she's where she's at and where this person's at. They both are at a similar place. It's wonderful when you see that happening, and then they get to intermix. They're fighting us, right? And that allows for a lot of productive VF where they get ideas to get inspired by, but then they also get to just have fun feeling out the like developing their skills at where they're at with opponents that are very similarly skilled. So we had many skills represented, but at the same time. Like all working together. It was great. That's what I always hope to see.
Mission accomplished.
Okay. Yeah, we're waiting for the other room.
Zero 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 1 1 1 2 3 code 2504. Yep, sorry Joe, well, I tricked you. Okay, let's get the North America room up.
Why you gotta trick Joe Wood though? Just teasing.
Electrified 3 music. Player menu, active character settings, this is Jackie. So you'll see 3 Akai rooms. Jackie rooms for North American players. The Leon room is for European players. And the dual room is for those who can't get into either rooms. And we're just hoping that the dual room can cleanse you of whatever issues prevent you from joining the rooms. You can get into by joining the dual room as a spectator and coming back out. See if that allows you to get into the room. That is something we just want people. If people go and try it, please let me know so we know if it actually is working or not. Let's see, passcode for North America today is the 25th, so 0425. Streaming, commenting, they are all pretty. That's all set. Alright. Nick. Let's get the number. This is
Do I see the Jackie?
19027. North America room. Joe in here also. 19027. Code 0425.
It's like Joe, I would spar with you, Joe, but right now I'm like plugging in as much daily activity as I can on my gacha in this like 3 minutes.
Okay, what's in there? Let's get this thing up here since we are.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Let's put this on full screen here so people get. Alright guys, I repeat again, we are having a third room to dual room. That is for those who are having trouble getting into either the North American room or the European room. And usually get that disconnect message or anything. If you get it, no, try to join dual room as a spectator. I'll just stay there like what I just made it up on number 30 seconds because it doesn't turn off your power, put it back on the set. 30 seconds or so, then try to join the room again. And you want to actually begin. Eva in the Europe. There's one more person there, so he's not staying there during that room. Okay, that's done.
Ready, go!
And things that I've been working on with those player information cards and stuff. I apologize, I'm not going to have them up today because I'm doing various things. But work in progress is getting that to a point where I think we could stream it with players.
Knockout.
Let's see, that's
Alright, awesome to have, of course, Joa though here. We've got Retro Toby playing Jeffrey, awesome. I'm pretty sure the Jeffrey is a menace. We got Blurring in here. We got the Funk Shaw brother, who is LD Wells.
I'm quite sure that's nothing else, yes.
Alright. And I like that name. It definitely sounds kind of like what the stream is like. You got the good funk, you got the good music, and you got the Shaw brothers action. Really good stuff. Alright. Joa, though, is a very aggressive and creatively offense player. I always love fighting against Joa, though. He's gonna try to... He's really scary at finding really good pockets to nail you on. And does that with pretty much every character that he plays.
Round 2. Ready, go!
And I didn't realize that Brad has like a necktie. I want to call it an ascot, but I don't think that's an ascot. I think it's a necktie. It's just that it looks funny.
When the add-ons with the whole stage version.
Yeah, it just looks funny with the tank top. So, but I like the purple. It's like this Brad is pimping, right? But he's still got his chain. And then we've got, like, you know, the very sweaty VF1 style Jeffrey model.
Excellent.
Very nice sidestepping against the rising attack, and you can see how punishable it is if you can get the sidestep. So most players that are doing that have invested some time in knowing how the sidestep works for the character from their body position on the ground, and then just being able to sidestep it when they see the rising attack. It's a very powerful technique when you know which rising attacks to sidestep, because it's a huge punish. And you know, the first character for most people to start doing the sidestep against rising attack, because it's really hard to do, it's like you have to train it, is like Akira, because all of Akira's rising attacks can be sidestepped, and they all like, and there's a way to tell which way to go just from his body position on the ground, and there'll be there's a consistent direction based on that. So he's like the start for a lot of villains. We both go for the clash uppercuts. I feel like I'm waking up already a little bit, just by chance on that one, because it's very scary. And I like that Joe will remember what you did.
Cassandra in the Europe build, so at least one more player. Dance.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Nice, I like that lunging up.
Also to make we do some stuff that I do each time during these sessions. I will not be posting no more in the PC group chats and Steam chats. I will only update to the streams and the two Discord channels, the Virtual Fire official channel and the Virtual Fire channel that is Jazz Community.
That was a really fun start of the morning match with Joe though. I'm glad my Brad experience always pours into that. But that was a lot of cool stuff that Joe does. I really liked when he opened with ducking into the knee. It's really, really good. If I do a full backdash play, it'll catch that. So I have to be careful about committing there. And it can also duck under an immediate 4-4K as well. Almost. Really love this art of the how to set up that ring out. It was really cool.
Alright, it was posted, so after both of these matches are done, we'll do the countdown of 5 matches before it starts.
Round 3. Ready, go!
I like that. That duck and launcher was the best. That's the very best way to do it. Okay, this is why you can't do rising attack against that, alright, or a low rising attack. And I tapped down late, so I couldn't stand back up and guard in time for this. Or I tapped down pretty much when this thing timed. It's good.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Good game, LDWells. Very good game. That was intense. Such a fun battle. Hey, Enfeng, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Also good to see you, David Blaine. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. We're having a lot of fun. We just started the Akai Leagues this morning. Everyone's warming up. And these battles have been so much fun. These were just 2 battles, right? I had so much fun with these 2 battles.
We started the countdown for North America now at 5 matches before we start, so you still have about 10 to 15 minutes if you want to join. Passcode for North America is 0425. Is the one with the Jackie icon.
I like that opening. Alright, well, not opening, but I like that use of the intercept position, that option.
Alright, thanks for joining OTH14. Yes, OTH1414. 1414. This is 4 plays in Europe, so we'll do the countdown now after the match just Central and Alpha.
Round 3.
Alright, this for those who might be watching and never participated before in these sessions. Each session that I host 2 rooms. One's for Europe, one's for North America. We run 3 leagues per session. You can play all 3 or just one, it's up to you. Just got a 15-minute intermission break between each one so that people can join. We ask people not to join the room when a league is running, because that could cause issues for those who are playing. Sometimes the most minor thing is that it'll cause the game to pause slightly or flip per second drop. But at worst, it seems that it could actually cause an ongoing match to completely disconnect. Alright, for each league, stick to 1 character. You press 732 to switch. The requirement is that you're playing within the listed region and with a wire connection. That was really good. If there's too many people with connection issues with you, I might have to ask you to leave. minimum delay setting at 3 or 4. A lot of people play these leagues. The diverse background treat these at Switzerland, neutral bound, be respectful to each other. And if there are issues, definitely please post and let us know so that we can try and fix things up. The way these leagues run really well is when people just actively communicating. And of course, there's actually a third room. I lied there a bit. The drawer room is the one in which we made just to see if for those who have trouble getting into the jacket room, try to join the drawer room as a spectator. Wait about 30 seconds and then try to join that the North America or the room. Some people have mentioned that being a spectator in another room helps like reset some issues. I like to join. Alright, I think there's a filter here. Fix that.
That was an incredibly fun battle with Blurring. Always super interactive. Then we got the Rock Reaper. Keep them coming. This is so much fun. This is a good way to wake up in the morning. This is a very, very fun way to wake up in the morning. Oh my gosh.
So 4 matches each for each room.
It's got that range. I can never. They've got it down to where to hit the attack right there. No, I can't backdash that.
Don't forget to hit the like button for the YouTube. It should be up now for YouTube.
Round 3. Ready, go! Round 4. Ready, go!
Also, one thing I'm trying to do is see if this is especially with like work, since there's more people who speak different languages and English might not be one of them. So I did with the league format and guidelines, usually mostly with Google Translate, stuff that sounds not very fluent or not very coherent. But at least maybe it'll be a nice way for two people to try the leagues. They don't actually English is not their primary language. So we'll see how that works. Alright, 3 more matches before we begin North America. 4 matches before we begin the group.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Let's get the players here. Did Marija have issues getting staying into room? Yes.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Now let me see who's in the room. Well, thanks for that information, 1414. I might redo that again next time. But also thanks to Soil Kai and King Hein, Trust Today, and 40E4 for doing some of the translation for it, or help fix some stuff, correct some issues.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Very good. This is where Toby gets very scary.
Yeah, of course, if you see some issues and flip with that language, please let me know so I can fix it too.
Round 4. Ready, go!
The PSN audio out. Let's see what's the deal.
Knockout.
Like that very much. Very good rounds, Toby. This is awesome. Good up.
I
Round
think because the
5.
match got
Ready, go! Knockout.
Alright, awesome game. Good game, Toby. That was an excellent battle. Great battle to start the morning off too. Very good. I had so much fun with that, and I like the like I said, I like the things that Toby does find in the match are like what they feel out after a while. And kind of, they actually have targeted reads. I don't know if it's conscious or not, because the way they talk in chat makes it sound like it's not conscious. But they always find these really cool, like, targeted reads. And I think it's intentional. But again, the way they talk in the chat makes it sound like it's not. but it's there. And it's always really exciting to see. So, good stuff. Awesome fight.
Hey Marjay, did you try wait for like a minute or so to see if it corrects and stuff?
Knockout.
Well, hey Neto, you could join the North America room.
Round 2. Ready,
Try the method that I suggested, the dual room. Try joining the dual room, Task Force 2026. As spectator. For 30 seconds. And join back. And try joining the North American movement.
round 3. Ready, go!
So let me go that again up. Let's see. So we're trying something different, and maybe you could help us test this to see if it's actually working or not, if it's actually useful. So the thing is that we found is that some people say that if you join as a spectator in another room, you could actually get back into the room that you want to get in, that you actually want. We're not too sure what is causing it, but they say that some people think that it actually helps. So you should see 3 rooms, league rooms, that are listed as Akai. The Nintendo Switch with the one with the dual icon. Try join as a spectator, and then go back into the room. Some people mention that if they have really bad connections, people in the original room, that they just try joining the dual room to see if that might fix it. And we're not sure if that actually does it, but some people say, hey, maybe it did, so try it. But if you guys do try it, please let me know to see if it actually works or not.
That was a really good battle between Toby and Diva. Excellent battle. And Diva found that good opportunity to finish. It's really good, especially on the the surprise exchange. Surprise exchange is an old school term we used in VF that means when the two players switch to positions, usually because of a throw.
Round 1.
So like usually when someone gets behind the other, or someone gets sent to be behind the other.
Yeah, kick out from the dual room. Then I have nothing for you then. Did you join the dual room? I didn't even see your name came up. Oh, you did. Okay.
You can try to keep.
Then okay. Then to that work for Unilito. Alright, so that's let's see how much this is a superstition or if actually might help some people that. We do know that people who have the luxury of having the game on multiple systems, that when you switch platforms, sometimes it has helped people get into the room.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Oof. Oh. Nice.
Excellent.
It was good hanging in there though. That was a good fight. Good hanging in there. Joe though does have a sparring partner that likes to hop with Akira, so he's ready for the hop. Go ahead, Akai. Sorry.
We're gonna begin the North American League at 10 players. Alright, guys, have fun.
Good luck. Have fun. Yeah, so that was really exciting to watch. Diva playing really, really well. But yeah, let's see here. All right, 2 scoops. Awesome to see you. Good morning, my friend. Let's have a good battle. Taco stage. I'm gonna be pretty vicious on the stage usually, if I can.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Good sidestep. I like the sidestep. Very good sidestep. It changes everything.
Ready, go!
And this opening is always good because it's so it's slow that like Sabaki will not work against it, right? Because it falls outside of the Sabaki time window. This is an awesome battle.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Taco stage is indeed stressful. I love the stress, right? Because I like all the stuff I get to play with in the taco stage, so that's why I like it a lot. It works well for Leon, of course, but it's really terrifying. Leifei or Akira are especially terrifying on it. Eileen can be a nightmare on the stage too. So you get it's compressed. The walls are gonna happen. Ring out's gonna happen. Well, walls almost definitely gonna happen, and the ring out has a decent chance of happening. So yeah, it is definitely a stressful stage, but I do love it because it gives my match imagination so much to work with, and it gives me a lot of ideas, and I have to manage those ideas, right? I have to go like, well, I want to go for that, but let's just keep it simple. We'll go for these, and because there's just so many things that it's very stimulating when you have the situational awareness and you kind of know what you can do with the stage. It's a very stimulating stage actually, And then for me, who likes to interact a lot, it becomes incredibly fun. I love it because of how interactive things get on that stage. And I do think it's stressful for people that don't like to interact too much, as much. They like to manage interaction. Then this stage is hard because you're gonna have to interact like a lot, and it becomes very stressful. So it's a lot as a player that's developing, and it's a lot as a player that would like to be more passive too. It's just like if that's their style, right? But it can also, there are ways to play very passive on this stage too.
Round 2. Ready, go!
I thought I held guard, but that's okay. Maybe I crouched. I like that 9K totally catching me there. I like that too. I like Diva's side turn of assault. It's really good. If I'm a little slow, I'm gonna get hurt. I do like the throw escape there. That's a big improvement from before. Alright. Now with Akira, I have to worry about about accidentally inputting a Kemi even from him launching. That follow-up is really awesome. That was an awesome follow-up. That's the correct follow-up if you think I'm going to do this technique here. And it's really good.
Round 5. Ready, go!
There we go. So he just needs to get used to this situation, that because I'm escaping his throw, that like one, he's either gonna have to evade my front foot because of the sidekick threat, right? I can hit him with something else, but that or just guard, and guard is really good too. But it is a guessing game, and I'm getting better at playing the guessing game, but my first target is the 3K. Now, Akira can actually do a reversal there, so reversal is not a bad idea. It's too bad that Retro Toby and Goat in the Shell looks like they crashed out, which is unfortunate. I really like sparring with both of them, so alright. But really awesome match with Diva. Diva, that was awesome. Really awesome match with Diva, honestly. There's like, it's like there's an idea in my head of what he could do better, but at the same time, hard to say it if he's actually fighting really well like that, right? So, and it didn't really apply to that match, so it's like it's a general critique. It's not the time to say that one because the way he played complemented very well. Man, I can't even low punch interrupt that. I like how I weaved into that. So Move Quick says that stage is so, yeah, as a passive developing player that makes a lot of sense. Yes. I think you're not too passive though. I think you're properly active in this game, but this game also forces you to be active to be passive, right? And I think that's the cool part. It's a good acknowledgement that you are a more passive player, but because it is VF, it's not like you're playing completely passive, because this game you need information, and to get information you just use the frames right away for attack, and by doing that you'll get information, but that's still passive play in VF. Because aggressive play is when you go outside of that, or when you really force guessing like really hard often. Those are like the two ways to be aggressive. So Toby said, terribly, I literally lost against MF Diva twice because something I did didn't happen at all, and I lost an entire game as a result. I'm really sorry for that, man. That sucks when that happens. You know, I know the feeling when if I make a mistake against Jeffrey, sometimes I eat like 45% of my life, so it hurts. Now in this case, you're saying it's like basically you feel that the game that the input dropped on the connection or something along those lines. So I'm sorry, man. It does suck when that happens. It's like when there's the periodic slowdown or the stutter. I'm glad I don't experience those that much, but it really is rough when you feel it. And yeah, whether it's online or offline at tournaments too, those experiences are really rough because those do happen, not some for various reasons. Meaning, what I'll say is I'll categorize them because sometimes it is like, oh, it's the game, right? In the case of online, but sometimes in my experience too, there's also stuff that happens that are unexpected in the match. And so that was a good one. I like that follow-up. And I like this kick here. So blurring completely is controlling it, says you're not going to backdash, and they're controlling the backdash, which is really, really good. Really, really good.
Ready, go!
So I'm like, now I'm trying to fight more aggressively, but with an eye for the defense.
Ready, go!
That was really good. I'm really glad that I got to find these pockets here. I got to find these pockets. They were tough ones because I had to like really go against what what my instinct would want to do.
Ready, go!
And then this time I used evasive attack to slide under high. Use evasive attack.
See? I thought I'm better.
I do. I see. Yeah, Move Quick said they still do force guessing when they want to choose to be aggressive, just not their favorite part. No, I understand. Yeah. Well, the good thing is you do play characters that don't have to guess as much. Like they can play. Like Brad is a character that can kind of play active without the guessing, but the hard part is when the opponent finds a way to force the guess, right? When the opponent, which is what I do against Brad, right? But I try to really control where I'm doing that, and that's hard, right? But that is the core game. And against Brad, it almost feels like a must to find these pockets to disrupt what feels like a safe game for him. Again, nothing is safe in VF, right? And that's also the trick for VF. The frustrating thing too is not much is really safe. Everything has got like an answer. It's got multiple answers for it, and because everything's got multiple answers, sometimes your opponent will do things that like will really counter even your safe plays. That can be frustrating. It's what I find exciting about VF, because there are a lot of fighting games where you don't have much of that. And when you don't have much of that, things can start looking the same for like a very long time for most matches and most matchups. And I think with VF, that's why I feel like it rewards the creativity. However, yes, on defense, there are ways to be defensive and creative too, which I really like, right? We get some of those. Yeah, now that said, Toby's definitely expressing their frustration on a lot of stuff, like because it can be stressful. Yeah. you do have the skill ability to stream, but I understand what you're saying, and I understand. Like I do see you as a person that has good goals, Toby. So I get it. And you want to be hitting those goals. I think you're a person that is really always looking to achieve, which is a very good thing, and is important. So I understand where things get frustrating. Says, I know Akai was never going to get angry at you. I'm going to tell you, Akai is not going to be angry at you. But I'm just not in a caring mood due to me just getting overwhelmingly angry. It's okay. If you feel like you need a break, I understand. I do. So, okay. So what you're saying there was that you kind of had to check out, and that's why you are not in the league right now. And I would tell you that while leaving the league in the middle of it is frowned upon, we do understand, and the thing is we know we don't want to force you to be upset in the league. So Akai would not be angry with you. He would be more like, that's unfortunate, and he kind of feels for you, but then he'll just, well, okay, and we're gonna move forward with the league. But that doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. But it doesn't mean he's angry with you. It just means he's just like he feels for you. There's sympathy. Both of us sympathize for you, man. We get it, and we know a lot of people get frustrated playing VF. We do. Like, this is a very interactive game. It can be so stressful, and for a variety of reasons, and things can definitely feel unfair whenever it feels like it's the controls or like it's the game, right? We know that for sure. Alright, awesome, Joe. That was excellent exchange. I was hoping to get this, but that's good. He's like, don't delay, and that was the read, right? His read was not to delay that the second two people game. This was sick. So here he's doing ECD, but he's setting up the high elbow. Very good. And he's appropriately using the low punch right away. He's like, no, I've got advantage. I was hoping that this play would also, the interrupt would work. But actually that knee has got enough damage that it... actually, the thing with Leon is that Leon has trouble trading, right? That's also... It's not a weakness, it's a design point. This was a huge gamble that I was going to get land this. Like, I didn't even confirm this. I just kind of had the strong feeling it would work. Because it's +2 on that. That was really good. Awesome game, Joe. That was such a fun game. So much fun. I had a blast with that.
What can I say?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just when I won the monthly last month, my parents were happy about me winning, but were upset I didn't get any prizing. We got to manage our motivations, right? And there are intrinsic rewards, which are the rewards within ourselves about what we know, what we accomplished, and there's extrinsic rewards, which are the prizes. There's not that many prizes to be had in Virtua Fighter, if I'm being honest, but it's mostly intrinsic reward. All right, very nice. All right, here we go, Oathbreaker. Let's keep working on it. Keep working on it. Very nice. Nice tech. Very good defense. That was correct. Very nice. Keep it up. Nice low throw. I love this. All right. Good combo. All right. Oathbreaker doing awesome. Here we go. But yeah, but my parents were like, they should have given you the venue fee back at least. I see. It would be nice, but then it's what it is. But I understand.
if your parents want to sponsor the next tournament, sounds good. You know. But I get it too. Excellent. That was an intense round, Oathbreaker. Very intense round. I love that. And it's nice fighting someone on Xbox. Very cool. Alright, let's do this. Alright, is this Bushido? It's awesome. This might be Bushido. Awesome. Alright, we got that. Thanks for the battle, my friend. I don't know if Oathbreaker is Bushido, but I really enjoyed that. That was really fun. It was probably frustrating for them, but I thought it was actually, I thought there was a lot of cool stuff in that match. But I'm also glad that I found certain places to, certain space and timing in that last round. My weekend's off to a good start, you know. I had a wonderful week with lots of Virtua Fighter, lots of offline Virtua Fighter for me, actually. And then also, last night had Korean barbecue with the family. That was so much, you know, Korean barbecue is always wonderful. That said, we all smell like Korean barbecue after it, so my wife's doing the laundry right now, and the laundry baskets, oh, they all smelled like barbecue, like Korean barbecue. Oh, I love that low throw, and I love this Nitaku. Very good. Yeah, don't let me throw you. Don't let me throw you, Sabaria.
Round two. Ready, go!
Especially with that life lead. Alright, that throw was not going to work there because the delay doesn't look the same. So right now, this is where 2K disrupted the EX high, right? 2K went under and disrupted, like avoided getting hit by his Demon Dance K. And that's what happened there. And that might have caused some confusion, but I think he knows about that. Because I've been very honest about Leon's 2K. Happy to make you hungry, Baba. I like talking about food myself. Man, that 4-6K timing was perfect. It's a perfect medium. Oh, I'm dead. That was so good. That's so good. This is Blaze using the wall from like almost full screen. It's so good. So good.
Ready, go!
I do like that crouch backdash is a decent answer to Demon Dance. We got it. We got it. I do love I do think the dialogue between Move Quick and Retro Toby is very important, right? This is about reward systems. This is about motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. And honestly, and sometimes you can even overlap that with culture or the personal culture at home. What are our values? Because a lot of cultures completely are strongly about the extrinsic. Well, all cultures value extrinsic rewards, but some families and support structures are very strongly about the extrinsic reward, and then and that the intrinsic reward comes after. And then some are the opposite, right? Some are intrinsic reward and then extrinsic. Now that said, it's not always the same, right? I think my parents are actually more extrinsically motivated, and I'm more intrinsically motivated. And me being more intrinsically motivated confuses the people that are very extrinsic in my family and in my friends. You know, they're like surprised, like the way I might process certain things if I don't get like the success, but then they also see that I'm successful often. So then they're like, what is this? And I was like, well, for me, I just see it as a competition with myself. Everything else is just measuring against that. So I care about the opponent. Beating the opponent matters, but it's not my goal. Like I'm just trying to improve. So for me, the path of mastery is not about just winning and beating people down. It's like, well, just, you know, playing better is enough for me. And then winning along the way feels really good. But for me, I just personally, that's just how I'm wired, right? My sister is much more extrinsically motivated, and so she's the type who is more likely to be an executive or to be like a CEO. She is actually a chief operating officer at a company right now. So, you know, she is that type, and she's much more extrinsically motivated, and she is more like, I gotta win and I gotta dominate situations. And sometimes that creates problems in family too. Sometimes it creates problems with me because I'm like, hey, we don't have to go this far on this, or like, you know, it's that thing that like, I want this, I want that. And sometimes you're like, you know, this creates a lot of stress in your life, especially when it's doing it with family members, you know? So, but she's actually a really wonderful person and caring. But a lot of times, you know, she wants it on her terms because she is more extrinsically motivated, right? And so you get these feelings of accomplishment, but you also feel like you're just so busy all the time. Anybody that knows her would know that she's busy all the time, and she makes herself busy, and her kid's life is really busy, right? And she's in an area where it's like, you know, try to win a lot. So in that area, there's a lot of people that are motivated that way. And then there's a lot of people who shut out from that, who are like the opposite, and they just stay quiet all the time. That's kind of why some of the VF best players in the country are in that area, and they tend to be quiet because they're in an environment where there's a lot of people that are loud about their accomplishments, you know, even though these are accomplished, amazing, strong players, but they kind of just don't want to peacock, you know? So it's kind of funny how that works. I don't judge though. When I talk about these factors, I'm not trying to say my sister's bad for being so extrinsically motivated. I mean, that's her motivational style. That's what drives her. That's what makes her her. I'm more intrinsically motivated, and that's why some people, it speaks well to them. For some people that are extrinsically motivated, they find it fascinating, right? They're like, why are you like, you're competitive and all this, but like you seem like you don't have to like beat people down. I was like, yeah, because I'm trying to beat my record. I'm trying to improve my score. That's just the way I do it. You know. All right, this was a lot of fun. Good games. First league, we're gonna join Akai. I hope that means something, but then I'm not saying that Toby has to follow my way. I'm saying I sympathize, because while my motivation is processed differently, I do relate to it because I know a lot of people in my life and around me that are much the same as like Toby, and the frustrations can feel that way. My sister will play board games as a competitive exercise with her husband, who, by the way, I love that guy. He's like amazing. My sister, I feel like I'm like lucky in life for the wife that I have, and I feel like my sister's lucky in life for the husband she has. Anyways, they play board games together, but if he like plays super strong against her, she's not happy, even though she is competitive and she won't, but like she'll call him out and say, why are you playing so hard against me? Right? And I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious when she does that, and then they'll come up with rules to make it feel less unfun, I guess, even though it's like, and these are very serious hardcore board games, right? We're talking like Agricola, right? Agricola is the most cutthroat is one of the most cutthroat, passive aggressive, competitive games, But she'll apply rules on it to make sure that she's not feeling like he's trying to beat her down when he has a good day, And then he manages. He's the type who's like, okay, we'll target within range and stuff, yeah. But I do agree with Move Quick where if winning becomes the main factor, it's a huge frustration for the worst and for the best of us. Some people like myself, we just see winning as one of many metrics. We do all want to win. Like, make no mistake, we all want to win. But winning is just one of many metrics to us. But there's a lot of people where winning is like the only real metric that matters to them. And I get that, but the thing is tournaments become funny if you look at life that way, because tournaments, it's like, let's say there's 128 players, okay, 127 losers, right? You know what I mean? The 127 people that are miserable, if the winning was the only thing that mattered to them, right? And then only one person gets to come out there as a winner. But the thing is I think for the person motivated by the win so much, they love that elation, they love the adulation, and they love the feeling that they are the very best of the very best, right? And I get that too, but I get to feel that way too when I win, right? Whether my motivation was that or not. And so, to the point that Move Quick is making, if you can still have that drive, but if you can be less angry, or if you channel the anger just at the right spots, but generally if you can be less angry but still motivated, still driven, that's probably a healthier way to go about it, and you'll probably have more and more winning and success because you don't let stuff phase you, right? But some people are motivated heavily by the desire to win, and then there's interesting people that sit in between, because there's like the great tennis player Andre Agassi, super competitive, but he was raised that way. His father, super strict. He gets second place, his father throws his trophy in the trash. He hates his father. He really he hates tennis, and he hates his father. But that need to win is a part of him, as maybe as a result of that, probably. And at the same, so then he's at this weird thing where he's amazing at tennis, and he does love playing it in a sense, but he hates it as a concept because it represents to him his father basically bullying him in the upbringing style and saying you have to win, and if you're second place, you're first place loser, and so it's a weird thing where he's achieved what would make a lot of people happy, but it's this thing that in his life feels like his life is incomplete until he has someone like Steffi Graf, another champion, who understands him as his wife and has his family, and he can separate. And then he's like, okay, tennis brings all these wonderful things in my life, so that's where I appreciate it. But but like in a way, everything else is the thing that's actually bringing the happiness to Agassi. But in his mind, he doesn't like that he's like that. He hates that. But it is kind of the way he is, and so it's hard where he's had to find this balance. And I think his book and his biography is a good read for people, not to try to be like him, but to just understand his dilemma, how he's coped, and how he's rectified these things. But again, that was probably a really damaging relationship he had with his father because of this. But then his father's like, that's okay, because his father probably in his father's mind, in his life, probably was like, he did his job. He made his son accomplish and successful, even if his son maybe kind of hates him. You know what I mean? So it's interesting how we manage these things in our life, and what our ambitions are, and what we have to, and all ambitions require sacrifice. We're just going to say it. Like, I'm going to quote Ryan Hart. ambition will always sacrifice something. You have to, like, it's because we all have limited resources and a limited life and what we do with it. And to get really what we want, a lot of times we're sacrificing something. I'm not trying to make it gloriful. I'm trying to say that's just the reality of it, you know. And there are things I'm willing to sacrifice for VF, but there are things I'm not willing to sacrifice for it too, right? And that's doesn't mean I'm better or worse at it. It just means those are choices that we make in our decisions, actions, motivations, and willingness to do. So, yeah. Again, I'm sorry if it's unclear because I'm not giving a direct answer. I'm giving examples that are harsh, but I'm just saying I feel for you, Toby, and I think it's a very interesting topic, you know. And I think it's just about what we find to be our values, you know. Okay, I'm not first, I'm last. Okay, sounds good. Was I last? Okay. Oh yeah, if you're not first, you're last. Yeah, the when parents say that, yeah. I'm glad my parents just didn't. My parents stayed out of my competitive activities, so that's probably good. But I would say that my parents are very much like, you know, they're like the 80s. You know, they have a lot of perspectives that are like a lot of boomers, that, you know, really represents 80s values, you know. That sound, like, they are wonderful, wonderful, kind people at this, but I'm just saying that, like, there is like a more material appreciation for things for them. So yeah. Baba says root cause analysis can help in the form of mindfulness. Really is good. Digging through when, how, why anger arises. This, in my experience, leads to awareness, which can lead to calm. I do agree with that. You know, and I do think Toby's going through a lot of things that are probably like lots of people go through, especially at the age ranges, especially I would say late teens up until 40. A lot of people go through these. So I'm not gonna lie, some people will take until 40, 50, 60 or never to come to peace with certain things. And again, it's because sometimes they like that fire. They like the fire of ambition and the drive, right? And then so it's just how you manage that, and everyone's managing it. I think my sister has actually managed it in a good way for her, but I do think it took her a while to get there because she was always ambitious from the start, you know, like materially and winning ambitious, you know, but she was always a very kind and joyous person, actually. It's just, but you know, she's always had this, like, I gotta win, I gotta be like, I want to be popular, and she was popular, but she didn't feel popular. Like, she got mad that I make it look effortless, right? Because I'm just nice, and that everybody, and it was just kind of like, you know, but it's like, well, when you're ambitious, you get more of the things you demand, but you might not get more of the things you just kind of want to happen by default, right? When you're kind, well, you know, you might not get the full rewards, but you get a lot of but more people might express appreciation for you. And in a way, maybe not as directly, but they show appreciation. They might not show sometimes what an ambitious person would feel is the respect, but they actually are showing a lot of respect. It's just, how do we interpret what as respect? It might be a little different. Very interesting topic. So keep chatting about it in the chat, because I think it's a great topic, because it's something we all deal with as adults, young adults. One sec. So I had to clear that morning grogginess there, and from all the talking and dry throat. So. Well, Move Quick says, trying to check out friendship cheat code of just putting out warmth and kindness. Yeah, well, I felt that I've always been, obviously I don't do it for the rewards, but I've definitely felt rewarded in my life for being positive and try to be considerate and kind, I don't think that makes me better. But I just think it's just another approach. But I do think it's like a big relief for a lot of people, where sometimes they wish they had a little more of it, you know, or that they received a bit more of it. And I feel like all of us wish we had received more kindness. So it's just another way of following the golden rule, you know. Yeah. But not everybody is like that, so yeah. And that's
You joined the chat I get halfway through the conversation.
sorry about that.
So we're not sure where that conversation, where that talk was. But
Yeah, my stream got a really interesting talk because you know we were relating to the frustrations for Toby, right? You know his drive to win, and so we're talking about motivation and you know different motivations and ambitions and approaches to that. But also I talk about it as the core, sometimes with how we're raised or with the systems around us or the systems we happen to find ourselves in, or even parenting. It's something we manage, and it can be a choice, but in a way too, sometimes it's just a built-in up. It's like it's how we are. It becomes our culture individually, and it can be tough, you know. Like not in a bad way, just more of like it's just another thing in life we manage. So if you're a person that has to win, that can be very stressful. But at the same time, some people that aren't motivated directly that way, it can be hard for them to kind of relate to it, right? And vice versa. It can be hard for people that are very ambitious to relate to the people that are ambitious in a different way, right? That are like, for me, my motivation is, well, I just want to keep getting better at things. You know, like I don't have to win for that to be the case, but I do like to win. But the win is not like the complete thing that's going to make me happy. It's something that I would like to do, and it adds to it. But some people have to win because they're raised that way, or they're in a culture, right? I would say like a lot of my Korean friends, it's their culture, like they have to win, and that's why you might see winning at all costs, even at the Olympics, right? And that can lead to interesting decisions. You know, you have maybe strong classism because that's winning in life to them is material wealth, success. Chinese, same for a lot of Chinese, not all, right? And so, you know, these are just all different things that we're managing. But I also said the hard part with if you have to win, if you're in a tournament with 128 players, that means there's 127 losers. That's like 120. If everybody was motivated that way, 127 people very unhappy, right? But there's a reason we do these tournaments. But again, for them, it's about more of they're into the sum of it. They want the complete win, you know. And so I don't want to do an injustice to people that are motivated that way, because it's very valid in life. It's just different, but it can be stressful, right? And I also talk about my sister, who's very ambitious, and she's the type who's likely to be an executive, and she is. You know, she's like a chief operating officer, and she's, you know, wouldn't be a surprise if she was like a CEO at some point, you know. And she's very extrinsically motivated, but she is a wonderful person, just like me. She's just motivated this way, but she'll play board games with her husband, and she will be angry if he like wins overwhelmingly against her, you know, and tell him to play less so brutally because they're at home, you know. So it's really funny. But she's playing Agricola, which I think you played Agricola, Akai.
I have not played that game.
Okay, that game is pretty cutthroat for a Euro game. You know, Euro games are actually usually very like just about productivity, but in Agricola, that game is like you're failing because your family's starving and your children are dying, and so it's about managing a farm life, you know. And so and the actions you do can cause other people to starve. So it's a really cutthroat game in that sense. So it's really funny. Yeah.
Alright. Went to Amber, also was trying the dual cleansing room, and I do not think it's happening in.
No.
So we're 0 for 2 right now with the door cleansing wheel.
I really feel for Rental because I remember on social media he had posted that that he lives in like an apartment that there are places he would like to move to, but where he lives gives him the best internet connection he can in the area that he lives in. And so this has gotta feel like extra painful. It's like I want to join. You know, he doesn't always want. You know, he likes Ring, and he likes direct like fighting rooms, right? So League is not always his thing, but he likes supporting it and he likes them. So I feel if he's like in the mood to do it and he's having trouble getting into the league, that I can feel that so much, you know. But I love fighting Rental. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I like his balance on things. He definitely wants to win, but he has fun. He has so much fun, and he wants to win. You know, I like his balance on all this.
We have 2 more matches before we begin the North America second league. We'll try to do also tomorrow just to see if we get more results. But so far, what we do seem to have always worked so far is that if you have the luxury of owning the game on 2 different platforms, if one platform doesn't work and you switch to the other one, it seems to be fine. Yeah.
So, fun side tangent topic. RJ brought up Uno and said that game can kill friendships and relationships, and I can kind of see it mainly because of the Uno rule, because of the having to call out Uno when you play, and because people can dispute who said Uno first. That's a really hard one, and then people that are more passive will feel like this is a stupid rule, you know, that like when I play and I have 1 card left, I gotta say it, and then we're gonna fight over who said Uno first, you know. So I think that's a funny thing about Uno. But the thing I do like about Uno is that if you try to take it seriously to a degree, you kind of learn how to do card counting, and you can keep track of stuff, and that could be an interesting dynamic. But there's many different rules of Uno, and Uno is meant to be a very fun, less serious game. But because of that, that's also why it can be a stressful game when people take it very seriously. Monopoly was brought up too, and Duroc Reaper brought that up. Monopoly is an interesting one because what I'll say about Monopoly is a lot of people don't know, because many people forget to tell other people when they talk about the rules, and some people house rule it out inadvertently, is that Monopoly, if nobody buys a property, it's supposed to go up for auction. There is an auction rule in Monopoly, and most people don't play with that rule, but that rule makes the game actually much better, or at least more functional as a game. Because then not buying the property is a decent choice, because you might be able to buy it at a much lower price from the auction, but also that people can compete on the auction, right? So the auction is an interesting choice, but what I can tell you also is that from playing a lot of board games with different people, especially Americans, but in general, a lot of people are risk averse. And the thing about auctions, it's similar to getting into VF, where VF you gotta guess. In auctions, people are afraid to guess. They're afraid to get the value wrong. People are afraid of being suckers, and because of that, a lot of people, if you present them with an auction games are wonderful games, and you can create value, and they're really great, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable playing them because they have to put a stake out there. They have to say what they think they should call the value out, and some people don't want to play with like a bad faith bid, but they're supposed to, and to just so that they can kind of move it up and then see where it goes. So yeah. All right, good luck, have fun, everyone.
Good luck, guys, have fun.
So yeah. Well, analysis process is real, and I do fall to it. I'm just not afraid to do the decision and stuff like that. But yes, the analysis paralysis is really intimidating for people, and that's why auction games are scary. And that's why a lot of people incidentally opt out of the auctions, not even on purpose, but they end up playing Monopoly without knowing that rule exists, because auctions are scary. Yeah, if you look up the rules, auctions are in the game, but most people ignore that rule. And they shouldn't, but they do because, well, auctions make you, like, the thing that people are afraid of is they feel like a sucker if they don't. That was awesomely played, Diva. Very well played. So here's the thing for Diva, it's because they're using high attacks. They're using both Force XP and they're using high jab. When, like, if they used dashing elbow a little more, they would have actually dominated they would control more at the ring out zone. And that is why I do think a lot of North America's recent, many generations now, like for the last 5 years, a lot of America's Akira players should be using dashing elbow more than they do. But part of it is it doesn't feel intuitive because it doesn't feel like you're dominating with it, but you really are. Like you're stopping people from doing stuff. It is actually, if you're having a passive active offense game, your dashing elbow is what is doing that. That's why like elbow is such a powerful tool, right? These sidekicks are doing it, but what's the problem with sidekick? Problem with sidekick is that if I did choose evade, sidekick is going to punish that side. Evade's going to punish that sidekick really bad, right? And so, whereas dashing elbow, like I pretty much have to throw just to have a chance to punish a dashing elbow. And if he mashed, I would probably lose. So it's really like, it's mostly a guessing game when you sidestep a dashing elbow. But when you sidestep a sidekick, you actually get a punish. Like you get a real punish for sidestepping it. So dashing elbow is really scary. Right? It's like, it is hard to punish. It is so hard to punish. And it's very easy to delay, which can mess up people that are sidestepping. And whether by accident or on purpose. So Akira's dashing elbow is a really powerful tool. And like, if you watch old heads play Akira, you'll see them dashing elbow like a ton, like 80%. And they're doing it because this is just so hard to exploit. It is so hard to punish a dashing elbow. It's easier to punish. You can crush a high punch. You can crush a jab, you can crush a Force XP, you can crush a low punch. Really hard to crush the dashing elbow. So yeah, but Diva is very strong and situationally I see what he wants to do, but this is also why there's this sense of risk for his Akira play for him. If I happen to sidestep a lot of the stuff, right? It can be hard to do. But this is why the dashing elbow becomes like that is in my head the thing I would like to see Diva spend time mastering is that dashing elbow, because I think both the dashing elbow, super dashing elbow, and actually there's a role for 3P actually. The role for 3P for Akira is that this is the mid you can do and you can't really screw it up. So because of that, you get in these tense neutral fights where every input kind of matters, or at least what you've inputted can really mess up what you're going to do next if you change your mind and you want to react to the opponent. 3P will not fail you because of this. Like you will end up like you're not going to tie your hands when you do 3P. And 3P will come out 14 frames like an elbow, and it'll be a mid, it'll stop almost everything, and even if you're feeling slowed down, that 3P is likely to still win a decent amount of the situations. And that peace of mind really is a big part of VF. So this is kind of the inner game of VF, we're gonna call it, right? Or applying Occam's razor, using simple answers because they don't complicate your input. This is a game where your hands can get tied, and the player can actually tie your hands. A common old school technique is to use back throws because the opponent suddenly is no longer pressing forward, because in this game the forward direction is the better direction in general. And so, now that said, if a beginner overuses this, it doesn't work out well for them. But at the high level of play, sometimes going for the back throw is to tie the opponent's hands, to get their hands to eventually crack. To get them to eventually crack in their technique because of how much they want to do forward, they want to dash forward and guard, and then it's like, gotta escape back, you gotta escape back. So now you're doing forward, back. And this is actually this is a real thing in VF. It's a real thing in competitive VF. And so it doesn't mean we always do it. It just means that sometimes we do it, and sometimes player like me senses that the opponent's likely to be messing up their inputs. And I'm not trying to ruin your day with that. It's just that these are part of the tactics in the mindset of a martial arts battle, a battle of systems of techniques, a battle of systems of fighting against one another. It's like, this is how I mess with you, right? How does it, Leon messes with people with backdash, he messes people by being slightly evasive, by having good lows, but all of his lows are risky. You just have to be in the mindset, the proper mindset of how to punish him for doing lows, you know, and stuff like that. So it's these are interesting aspects of the game. I hope that makes sense to y'all. Hey Hypergraph, so good to see you. Yeah, we talked about the auction rule in Monopoly, the Uno rule in Uno. We've talked about motivation, a lot of good stuff. I like how they reacted to that though. Alright, Hectic Fall, here we go. Very good. Oh, it's rolled back there. I'm sorry for the rollback, Hectic Fall. I always like fighting with Hectic Fall. I know I make it really tough on them, but they have a good go. They have a very good go. I like how this thing did happen to call out the 4 PKG option. That was a really good choice. Look at that choice. And that uppercut, we actually both wanted to uppercut each other. I love that. I like this choice too. It called out the jab. It really, that was good. Again, all these choices awesome. I told you, Hectic Fall is a very good player. So as we have more information, the more I try to disrupt what they're likely to do. And fortunately, I have the reactions to respond to some of the stuff they're doing too. This Sabaki was awesome. Again, this is you're seeing what Go wants to do, and this is what I love. Go is the character that, like, that sidekick was beautiful. Shoot. Okay. They were not happy with this. Now, here's the thing. Me standing back, this is not a disrespect. This is technique for fighting against it. So I don't know if they were upset with that or they felt like they just can't win. But this is the proper technique for fighting at the edge of the ring. Why? Because evade cancel. Because failed evade is really not fun to happen if you're against the ring out zone. And because if you don't make contact with me when you strike, I have opportunity to throw or to PK and to push you out of the ring in different ways. This is all part of the technique. It's not a disrespect. It's the proper technique for using space, time, and like a guaranteed grab or opportunity, creating opportunities to get the ring out. It's how to construct the win there at the edge of the ring. But I love the way that Hectic Fall was playing. Like, there was a lot of awesome decisions. The 6K was really on point. The sidekick was on point. Go is a character who kind of lives and dies by the read. And that's why I love it, because these are Yomi battles. Shoot. One sec. Gotta clear my throat from all the talking. So, alright, here we go. That was a good use of KP. So Hypergraph, how are you doing? How's your week been going? Did you play at the salon this week? And are you having I hope you're having a good weekend so far. I like the throw choice. PK would have won though. I should have PK'd here.
Round 4. Ready, go!
That was really. This was a beautiful punish here. Evade after they evade. That was really good too. That was an intense fight. You played that really well. You hung in there very, very well, Two Scoops. You hung in there very, very well. That was really, really good. I know it feels frustrating when you're not on the winning end of it. You fought that really, really well. Hypergraph said, I had a fun birthday party on Sunday, but I got the flu. No, so I haven't had access to my brain higher than maybe 60% a week. I feel that. Catching up on some work stuff. I hope to go to the salon next week. I hope you do. I hope you're feeling much better now. And cheers to your recovery. Some drop combos, they add up, but they add up for both players. Trust, like, I would say this, like, it's always important in this game to work on, like, to getting used to fighting properly, making decisions when you don't get the thing that you want, including the drop combos. But I feel it because it definitely was the drop combos for me sometimes. But I think one of the stronger skills I have is my improvisation when I don't get the thing I wanted. I think I've gotten a lot stronger at that. That was beautiful. I love this K plus G. This K plus G was an awesome choice because I did want to sidestep. They called it. That was such a good fight. These are beautiful. This is beautiful. It looks like I got replay analyzed. What this feels like. This is awesome. And again, use the attack. It's so good. All right, let's see if I can do this. Can I turn this around? I don't know if I can. And my throw choices are acting against me right now. This is so great.
Round 5. Ready, go!
The 6 XP is a really good choice. This pounce was really good. That was an awesome game, A+. I thought I had it, and then one disrupted thing, I was in the chain of being disrupted for like 5 moves straight. It was really, really good. That was so much fun. I had a blast with that fight. Keep it up, A+. That was awesome. I love where you did 6 XP because you called out my backdash game without me doing evade. And it was really, really good. It was really, really good. And then also you called out throws. Like, you're like, I'm not going to let him throw. And it was really, really good. So that was an awesome battle. That was a really, really good battle. So much fun.
Ready, go!
Yeah, it's okay if Doral is banned. I just want that conversation to happen because I think there's a lot of non-decision that's happened, but I think part of it's because Sega. I think if Sega made Doral legal in VFOC, then that would be kind of like, that would sort this issue. But right now what it is like, you know, I think now that if she's like legal and ranked, I feel like might as well let her be like legal in tournaments, you know? So, but I don't know if she is still banned, but I think it's likely that that'll happen just because I think what happens is that Sega is, I mean, this is just me speculating. My speculation is that Sega says that Doral is like that. Basically, we'll leave it up to the tournaments, right? And so what happens is Evo is like, well, okay, we're gonna have Evo Japan is like, okay, we'll just have Doral be illegal at Evo Japan because she was illegal last year, right? And then and so it's not because of the reasoning of whether she should be legal or not. It's because of the precedent, and it's because Sega is not going to say, "Oh, you guys should just make her legal at this point," because we've tuned her to be competitive. She's not dominating anything, and she is in ranked, and she's not dominating ranked, right? But and then the organizers aren't really avid VF players, you know. So that's why I'm like, this is the whole chain of indecision, right? And that's my issue with it. But also because I do feel like there's been things that have implied that that by now she's probably is intended to be kind of legal, but then also like we'll just let the community. 9P was awesome. This is gonna cost it. That was a good game, Blair. Good game. Good game. I had so much fun with that. Very good game. So yeah. So I think like the Doral topic. I mean, Combo Breaker, she's definitely gonna be banned. So here's the thing: Combo Breaker should not change the rule this late. But I do think CEO and Evo should think about it. The thing is, Evo Japan should not change the rule this late. But I'm under the impression that the whole reason that she's banned is just because of precedent and that cyclical reasoning, right? That basically, okay, if you're organizer for these tournaments, you're just like, we're just gonna assume she's banned unless Sega says we should not ban her. And Sega is probably, I'm under the impression that Sega is like, we'll leave it up to the community whether she's banned or not. And it's like, it's your game, and it's your open championship. Just say it if you want her to be legal or not, you know. And so that's my view. And people are citing, organizers are citing the VFOC 2025 rules. That's where I'm like, let's clear this stuff up.
Round one. Ready, go!
All right, here we go, Reaper. Very good, very good. So, A+ says I struggle against the Sabaki deck because you probably do a lot of 8K or sidekick, but that's okay. You're playing awesome. Keep it up. But you played awesome. That was an awesome win.
Round three. Ready, go!
Very good.
Round four. Ready, go!
Good game, Dark Reaper. That was a wild game. I had so much fun trying different ideas out in this fight. So thank you for the battle, my friend. I was trying so hard to get certain things. I was like, I think this will work against the way they're playing, and I had so much fun with that. So yeah. Yeah. And then, so Two Scoops says, okay, so A Plus was probably talking about Durao? Okay. Two Scoops says, yeah, even with balance changes, you can make an argument that Durao has certain advantages, like her muteness. Well, it's part of her design, but I don't think it's as much of an advantage. But then again, I'm a player who plays the game on mute. Like, right now, I'm playing it on mute. Like, not that I'm playing it on mute, but I actually don't hear the game's audio. And I never do during Kai Leagues. But I train myself that way because I think it's important to be able to play the game visually. You know, unless you're legally blind, which then you need to use the audio. But I think, yes, audio is an advantage, but I think you can play both. And I feel like training without the audio has helped me so much in tournament play because of how varied the tournament environment is. Alright, Phaser Cat games, here we go. Very nice, I like that crush. Very nice. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm sorry that I cannot read Chinese characters, but really good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my channel. I hope you are having a good weekend, and I hope you are enjoying VF. Mei Mei, nice to meet you. Oh yes, we've seen each other before, right? Welcome, Mei Mei. I hope you're doing very good. Thank you very much. Alright, keep it up, Phaser Cat. Alright, there we go. Good game, Phaser Cat. Good game. I know you by your old name. I see. Ah, Miss William. Nice to... Very nice. Okay, yes. It's been a while. I hope you're doing very well. How have you been? Have you been playing Virtua Fighter much lately? I think I'm remembering you now. Okay. I think you're on another social media. It's moving to Hong Kong. Awesome. Awesome. I like Hong Kong. You got second turn. Congratulations on getting second, Mei Mei. Congratulations. That's excellent. I see. That's why the name changed. I see. All right. Well, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Congratulations. Did you fight with Jimmy PKG? Jimmy is a really cool guy. I like Jimmy a lot. I've hung out with Jimmy twice now, right? We hung out in Hong Kong and we hung out in Taiwan, and I really like Hong Kong. You're still in the UK? Okay, that's okay. It was the UK tournament. Hell yeah, awesome. Who did? May I? Feel free. You don't have to answer. But I was wondering who did you fight in the UK tournament? That's awesome. Do I like the Hong Kong food? I do. I like a lot of food from all around the world. So I like a lot of food that's in London as well. I like food in the United Kingdom, but I also like food in Hong Kong very much. Like in the UK, they have like amazing Indian food, right? So Ash Kaiser is a strong player. Wow. That must have been a really good tournament. All right, RJ, here we go. Very good. Very good. Then he reset the bracket. Oh, you sent it to... That's awesome. Sounds like a really good battle. Whew. RJ Jeffrey, so scary. That sounds like an exciting battle.
Round 4.
If it's on stream, I would love to watch it too. Good fight. Good fight. Always good fight, RJ. Always good fight.
What a knucklehead.
So he knew I go for a Leon stance into 6P, KK, P plus K. Yes. So he woke up with dropkick. That's a good choice, actually. I like that. I need to fight against a wolf that's gonna do that to me, against that stance. That is so cool. So which threw you off and low profile? Yes, 6-2K is a very strong move because it low profiles and hard to punish. Very hard to punish that move. And so that's actually a very interesting option against Leon stance. That's a really cool option. That is a really cool option to use against Leon stance. It means that if it was Okizumi, the meaty timing had to be perfect. Yeah, that's really good. All right, congratulations, Reaper. It was excellent.
Second, and Chantai gets third. Thank you guys for playing. We'll do one more league for North America. So you're more than welcome to join. Alright, go post around, let people know you can join the room now. Leo is currently doing his third league right now, so don't join that room. Post around.
Round 1. Ready, go!
It's like 35 minutes. How much time is like 240, 240. 26 minutes. Yeah, pretty close to the right. 26, 32 minutes.
Knockout! Round 2. Ready, go!
Hey, RJ says I gotta go. But I got at least one league in today. It was a blast. Really good games. And you have a good one, RJ. Have a great rest of your weekend. Hopefully see you tomorrow. But thank you very much. I'm glad we were able to fight today.
Okay, RJ.
Knockout! Round 4. Ready, go! Knockout! Round 5. Ready, go!
After smash featuring 2 scoops and hectic fall, we'll start the 5-match countdown for North America.
You'll never be a match for me.
Alright, I see. I see LD Wells joining the duo room. Let's see if that helps them. We're 0 for 2 right now in the duo room. But apparently he tested this out last weekend and seemed the duo room allowed him to join. So all the tests using the dual cleansing room has been me hosting on the Steam platform, so that might be something to consider also.
Yeah, if we can name rooms, you can call the Doral room like the R2D2 room, you know? I know, the Obi-Wan room, you know? Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. You know?
No, I like to refer J6 that we were with the storyline from Vanessa. It was after VF4, midway through the VF4 tournament, she got captured by J6 mysteriously. And just show up a couple of years later. I thought we weren't aiding, but she felt like she has been in top physical fitness, I guess.
Is that Vanessa or is that Sarah? I thought that was Sarah's story.
That's also a Vanessa story.
Okay, I see. They all.
I guess everyone who goes through the dual thing, it's clear, so you know,
I think AM2 are all like Cammy fans or something, and they're just like, these are like doll storylines, but you know, they're deeper because we say less. You know. Just kidding. But no, yeah. Well then with it would be fun to call it the J6 room.
Undefeated, that's cool. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it'd be cool to call it the J6 training room, the connection training room. You know?
If it works, if this duo actually does.
You're gonna rename the account, the handle on the account.
I think if I had to rename it, I have to use my Steam. That's actually. I don't think I could.
That's right. It has to be Steam, and otherwise you have like it can only change I think once or twice a year on some of the platforms.
5-match countdown has started for the North America wing, so you got plenty of time to join if you want to participate.
A Plus had an awesome win against me. It was a really fun battle with A Plus Destination in that last league. They beat me pretty good.
LD was exited from the duo room.
Round
Can he
one.
actually join the
Ready, go!
captain stream to see if he'd try if the work or fail for him.
Knockout. Round two. Ready, go! Knockout.
Two Scoops really putting on the plus frames with the jab and with this flamingo pressure. It can be tough to deal
Did
with.
well in that last league. I think 5 wins, 3 losses.
Yeah, they're fighting really good. They're really like again, they are definitely improving. The results sometimes take time, but the improvements have been real. Now that said, this type of game is their comfort zone play though, so it's really important. So like for Phaser Cat games, I would definitely I would recommend that they save the replay of that fight, because they want to kind of get a feel for Sarah's offense, this style of offense from Sarah. Sarah is because basically there was a lot of using the high jab to set up a +2, and there's a lot of using the flamingo to kind of pressure you. And I think Widmer is looking like they want to fight back. They just kind of, and so that's a good thing that they want to fight back. And so this is a perfect replay for them to save and do replay takeover with and practice against Two Scoops of Sarah.
Still setting players for the North America room.
The NA one is the Akai Akai room that with the Jackie icon. That's the American one.
Boosting out the speed. Okay, Agent Griffin.
Knockout.
Remember, this sidekick is your biggest threat after I escape your throw. So
Round 3.
you can Sabaki it, probably. You can definitely guard it, and you can definitely sidestep it. Very nice. Yes, that's right. I don't know if they're Seattle, but I do think they're near Seattle. Ooh, I like that. That was very good, Two Scoops. Keep it up. It is the range play that has been getting you. So now, considering the range, that was a really good play.
Ready, go!
It's a great game. I'm gonna take a break here. That was a really fun one. I wanted to give more sparring to Two Scoops. Two Scoops like, you can't just jump on me and then jump out. It's like, no, it just worked out in the line that way, but we'll do that. So there we go.
3 more matches for the North America room. Let's see website. Let's see, says here we have Sandro at 1 loss. It's currently in the group. Everyone else has actually is quite close. Everyone is at 2 to 4 losses.
Round 1.
It's a tight league. 44 him was disconnected a lot early. Good to see King Pine versus Rusty. The small screen is Tactic 4 versus the Rockriver. Rockriver took first place. The second league. First league today was Chan Chan.
Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 1. Ready, go!
Okay, so I had a really good question and some of what I typed out actually didn't get sent. So thank you, Streamlabs OBS for not sending my. I wrote like 2 paragraphs and it didn't shoot out, but it probably is because the platform had like a limit on even the admin. Anyways, the question was, Killmore69 says, hello, I bought the game last week and congratulations on getting in the VF. We're really happy to help. And as a former Street Fighter player, I can't figure yet how this game works. I feel that people are just spamming to get their turn back, but I know that I just don't understand what's happening and what I should do. So if the options are limited. So actually it's the opposite. There's a lot of options. Okay. I think turns are a really good paradigm for learning a lot of stuff, but I personally, when it comes to Virtua Fighter, I don't like the paradigm of turns because this game, everything has multiple answers to it. Almost everything. Like 99%. Over 99% has multiple answers to it. And there are varying approaches. And defense is not just guarding, though it can be. It's just that in this game, you can use movement and guarding are two separate things in this game because you have a guard button. So sometimes guarding is a good answer, and it's a good general answer as a defense. But sidestepping can also be really good, but it has a very particular way to be used in this game. It's more like a third strike parry in a way. Is a better way to say how you would try to apply a sidestep in this game is you would apply it similarly to a parry in third strike. And then on top of that, you can crush. If somebody keeps doing low punch, well, you can do a hop kick. And if somebody does a high punch, you can do a low punch to beat the high punch, because and you have attacks that just flat out beat highs, and you have attacks that flat out beat lows. So because of that, in 3D fighting games, mid attacks are your go-to attacks, right? They're really the things you kind of want to do in general when you have the advantage to use them. Advantage is still important, but this game is more of a rock, paper, scissors kind of game. And because of that, the reason I don't like calling it the turns paradigm is because, in my view, it's always your turn. And it's always your opponent's turn. And if you ignore this aspect, it might get upsetting when the opponent beats you on your turn, and you're like, well, that means they're stealing turn. And it's like, the problem with that is, like, if every other moment is a stolen turn, was there ever a turn to begin with? And are you frustrated because you felt like it was your turn? It's okay to be but it's understanding this is what's going on. There are options to deal with what you're doing. They can set up a whiff punish by using backdash. Backdash does have a big weakness. So everything is just, it's decisions versus decisions. And this makes it a little scary at first. But you kind of understand there are principles of good play that are similar to the paradigm of turns, right? So what are those principles of good play? Well, if you have advantage, using a mid attack is a very good thing. Why? You will see some opponents that will use high attacks a lot, and the opponent will just low punch them because they realize this guy keeps using high attacks. Because a high attack is vulnerable that way. And so if your opponent keeps doing high attack, then it's not really about the turn, it's about they're doing something that has a weakness that I can do very easily. It is a risk, because if he did the mid, he would hurt me pretty bad. So you have to make sure that guarding itself is a decision, an active decision, not the default, not I was moving away so I happened to block, but really I was guarding because I was very sure they were going to do like a mid. I was standing blocking because I was sure they're going to do a mid or a high attack, right? But if they keep doing high attacks, I'm just going to low punch them instead because they're being predictable. This game is about punishing predictability. This game, it doesn't mean you have to, but it means that is generally the strong way to play this game first. And this game does go into guessing right away. And it is about attack and defend, but in a different way. The way it's attack and defend is that the mid attack is the really good attack that can't really be worked around. That, like, by doing a mid attack when you have advantage, they pretty much need to defend either by movement or guarding. There's a few ways to crush, but maybe only one move in their move list could actually crush that mid attack. So generally speaking, the way that you quote-unquote enforce your turn in this game is with the advantage you have, applying a mid attack, because it's hard for attack to beat a mid attack when the mid attack is using advantage to make it frame tight. High jab is, this game does not have many plus on block moves, but everybody has high jab. High jab is +2 on block. It's one of the only, most characters only have a few plus on block moves. All right, good luck, have fun, everyone. And so, because of that, here's where I think turns is important to understand the distinction. There's a lot of games where you can pressure your opponent and they have to defend it, and if they don't defend it, they're gonna get hurt. So that's waiting for turn, right? It's like, I gotta wait for my opportunity. In this game, actually, a lot of strings lose to low punch. A lot of strings lose to low punch because they have a lot of highs. And so now later on, there is a way to punish people that do low punch, by the way. There is. There's technique to it. But it's not such a hard, fast default rule. It's not I just always guard, but you can, and it's good. It's not bad. It is good to guard in this game. But if you're sensing like, I don't know when to strike back, actually, most of the time you block something, you can strike back in this game pretty good with a mid that's frame appropriate. It will be very solid, because you're gonna feel like it's actually, there's not that many punishment in this game from guard. There is some, there's not that much, but there is guessing game. There's learning how to guess. But the thing about the guessing game is it's a powerful way to play, but you do have to think, what will my opponent do? Is my opponent going to guard? In which case the answer is throw. And so if you're coming from Street Fighter, just imagine that everybody's throw in this game, everybody is a grappler too in this game. Everybody is like Zangief. Everybody can do about 25% or more life with the throw. Everyone. So throwing is good. And a good time to throw is if your opponent does like a side kick and there's no follow-up and you block it, actually it's a good place to throw, because they're probably going to guard because they're afraid of your attack. They're probably going to sidestep because they want to beat your attack. Throwing beats both in this game. But then your opponent starts mashing. Okay, so the next time you block a side kick, if you think they're going to mash, now you do your attack, especially a mid attack, and it will beat it. You're not attacking just because it's your turn. You're attacking because you think they are mashing when they are at a disadvantage. And then when you think they're going to be defending for sure when they're at a disadvantage, you throw. It does get more than that, but that is the core of this game. It's rock, paper, scissors. I think he's going to defend. Attacking or throwing is pretty good. I think he's going to attack, but I have the advantage. When I have advantage, my attacks are better than their attacks. This game moves on a 1 to 2 move basis. Do you notice how it's one attack and then it's like one move, back and forth. 2 moves maybe, back and forth. If you fight somebody who do PPPK, there's an easy answer. You low punch, and if you think they're going to keep mashing, you do low punch uppercut. Low punch launch, low punch launch. Really strong, this is how you beat the masher. To beat the masher, low punch, launch. That's how you combo them. Not wait to block it and punish, low punch to get advantage. Uppercut because you think they're going to mash. And you have the advantage. Your attack better than their attack because you have advantage. Then you fight somebody who guards. What do I do? Okay, I low punch him, he stops and he guards. Okay, so now I low punch throw. Low punch throw. That's how I beat the guy who actually is gonna stop mashing and guard. So watch Leon low punch and uppercut, right? And same like Hectic Fall, I cannot just explain this generically, right? But see, I did a mid. I didn't get, so I did not win the situation with the mid, but they did not really punish me for it, right? Because it's not hard, it's hard to punish. In this case, we made it complicated because I'm using sidestep. Sidestep complicates things because it's like a parry and third strike. And this 6-6 throw, this move that he just did, or Hectic Fall did, beats sidestep. It beats sidestep, it beats attack. It looks like a throw though, so that is confusing. I get it. Excellent. Here we go, Hectic Fall. Now that said, technically it's actually an EX low. It is a deceptive move, and so I could actually low crush it. Yeah, and then you're going to use space to control how we engage, just like you do in Street Fighter, right? We do use spacing, but this game's the primary movement of this game is dashing. That's another important part. And so right here, I used movement to defend against. I thought they would use something short range, and so I used crouch backdash to set up a whiff, and then I whiff punish with a strong attack, like this, right? That's what I just did right there. And so again, this low punch beats the high attack. If you keep using high attack, you're gonna lose to a low punch. Very good. Awesome. That's gonna be it. So these are good. See, we are fighting with decisions. We are fighting with decisions. And Hectic Fall's making fantastic decisions. I'm using sidestep to disrupt their attack choice. I'm defending by using sidestep, right? Sidestep in this game is a defensive option. And it's something I do, like, it is actually the way, you don't get much guard punish in Virtua Fighter, you get some, but you get mix-up a lot of times when you block guard. So if you guard their attack, you'll have a mix-up. You get to go, like, I'm gonna do mid or I'm gonna do throw. Why would I do which one? Well, because I have advantage, if I think they're going to, I'm going to say mash, because that means I think they're going to attack or throw. Then I'm going to do attack, because my advantage means my attack wins that. If I think they're going to defend, I'm more likely to use throw. Now, there are other ways you can try to crack. You can try to crack defense like with low attacks, but understand a lot of times when you hit with the low, you're at a disadvantage, so you're already you're chipping at them. Low attacks in this game are like chip attacks. They're like chipping in Street Fighter. Except that you can't just keep doing it, so they can strike back right away. And so you gotta understand that, but if they don't strike back right away, you can mix up after the low. And so I'm using, when you see this backdash evade, that's a defense option. It might not be guarding, it's still defense. Right?
Round three. Ready, go!
Good battle, Reaper. Good battle. So, I want to also stress something about guard. Okay, this is a big difference. I said earlier, it's actually kind of, there's not much guard punish in this game, but guard is really good because you get advantage. And by having advantage, you force, your opponent has a strong reason to defend. And then you crack the defense with a throw or a guard break or a low attack, but the low attack is a very low reward that is really there to disrupt them and make them not want to guard, because you make them not want to guard so that they start mashing, and when they start mashing, now you flip, that's when you bring the attack out and you mess with them. So you're walking people into these decisions points. backdash is strong in this game, but it is risky. So that's another important point. You're going to hear about the risk of backdash. It's very true. You can lose half your life if they call out a backdash. But backdash is very strong in this game because if you can cause them to whiff, that's pretty good. Now that said, it's hard to whiff punish in this game. This game is hard to whiff punish. That is different from a lot of fighting games. A lot of fighting games actually kind of not so hard to whiff punish. This game, it's hard. And so here's something to understand with the backdash. I don't want to be... Okay, if I'm this far away, backdash is pretty effective at avoiding attack. Okay, but do I get a reward? Not really, because I can't whiff punish. So if I backdash, I would like to be close to them so I have more options to whiff punish them with, or force them into guessing to use advantage, right? But if I'm too far away, then all it did is avoid attack, but it's not really much, right? And so it's a tricky balance. And so this game really encourages you to be up close, because the closer you are to your opponent in this game, the more options you have. It's true for them too. And so, but if you have advantage, that's to your advantage. And so this game encourages fighting up close and making these complex decisions. I know that it's scary at first, but when you get used to it, and if you follow principles of good play, like using a mid attack when you have advantage, as a starting point, not as the only thing you do, but because you condition your opponent to defend, now it feels like turns. Then we can work with that. Then we can work on the turns and stealing turns, I guess. But the problem is they do have answers. You've seen me beat people that attack after blocking. I do it by defending in a way that doesn't look like guarding, right? I do it, but guarding is still what I do, right? I still guard and I strike back. If my strike works, I get to mix up and approach play, right? And even if I move away, it's because I have a reason, because I do have a trap for them. And so, like this, right? And this time he beat me out, but it was really good. But right here, I also I actually interrupt my backdash to go, I want you to go in to attack me when I do this, right? Like this, right? And now he used an attack that's gonna win, right? And then so now I might sit back and do it, but it's a big risk against John if I do that. Right? And so here, when I went for sidestep, it failed because he gets that I was gonna sidestep loses to throw in this game, and he threw me out of a sidestep. And here's this is basic Okizeme VF, which is try to get your opponent to do rising attack and then punish it if you can. Right? It's Virtua Fighter 1 style Okizeme, very powerful at high level play too, like this, right? And then it's like, nope. Then I cut it, and then here, this is like, I'm like getting him to want to, me backdashing also makes the opponent want to use slower attacks, which is more vulnerable to sidestep. That's also why I have this trick, backdash evade, right? Like this. So this is how we play these decisions in VF. And this is how we construct points. Now, if you were to ask me what are the best moves in Virtua Fighter, what is my character's best move? Almost always, I will tell you high punch, low punch, elbow, throws. This is the core boxing of Virtua Fighter. It's not because you just win with those. It's because these have the least risk. They still have risk, but they have the least risk and they're fast. So this is how I kind of win exchanges on basic poking and basic like speed. And then once I counter hit, once I get a red spark with a high punch or a low punch or an elbow, I get to mix them up. That's how I construct it. And the mix up means, do I think he's going to defend? Maybe I'll throw or guard break or crack his defense. Do I think he's going to attack or throw, which means he's mashing? When he's at a disadvantage, I'm going to do the attack. I'm going to launch him. I'm going to try to combo him there. Now let's flip it. I'm at a disadvantage. The decision point is actually, do I think with his advantage, is he going to attack me? Then I should defend. Is he going to throw me because he wants to crack my defense? Actually, the answer is in this game, in this situation, attack beats throw. So if I get him to want to throw me, then I can launch him with the normal hit combo launcher. That is Virtua Fighter. I like that high jab. Very good. So I like the way A Plus is fighting me because it's really countering my approach to the game, and it's punishing me for watching too. It does have moments where it just punishes me for delaying to watch. Hey, Shogi dude, I'm really glad that the explanations are helping you. I really hope so. That is my goal. And thank you so much. Thanks for all your support too. I really appreciate it. Always fun chatting with you as well.
Round 4. Ready, go! Ring out.
Good fight, A Plus. Good fight. Kilmore, no, yes, Phil. So here's the thing, Kilmore. I'm always available if you want to message me directly on any social media platform we share. But also on the video, yeah, I encourage you to watch the VOD. It is going to be in my live section since this was streamed on YouTube as well. So check the live section for the VOD, but also, or on YouTube or on Twitch. But if you do watch the video on YouTube, you can also comment, and I will answer it when I see the comments. Sometimes I don't see them as much as I used to, but I'm trying to fix that habit. But feel free to ask a question anywhere you see me on social media. I'm on X. I am on Facebook, though I don't really give that one out. I am on Discord, but on Facebook, I am in the Virtual Revival group, and that is a great group. On Discord, it's just Chanchai, ChanChai, with the capital C, first capital, because it's actually one word. And then, but yeah, feel free to ask me questions. I'm always happy to help. And on my streams, of course.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Very good. Awesome. That was great.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Got a blocking guard connection.
Round 3. Ready,
Awesome. Feel free to. Did you beat the Chanchai in World Stage mode? It's awesome. I challenge you.
ring out. Round 4.
I think Sarah is a really good character to learn to learn the basics while feeling comfortable. I highly recommend Sarah for beginners a lot, but I do think the truth is that I do believe you should play any character that you like or that you're having fun with, because fun is an important part for motivation. But it's true that some characters are a little more can like you're kind of learning other games before you're learning like the core VF game. I think Sarah's very good at doing both, even though you might get overly addicted to her flamingo stance is the risk when you learn Sarah. But I think Sarah is awesome as a character to start with, and do try different characters until you find what you really like. So what are the characters I kind of caution about? You can totally learn them, but understand your sense of the game will probably be a little different, and you'll be learning the game in almost a reverse order. So Vanessa is a popular character. However, the problem with learning Vanessa is you might try to attack too much, and you're learning. She is a character who's really good at all three. Guard, like everyone else, guard, like defense, attack, and throw. But a lot of people that learn Vanessa, she's kind of a precision character. And so the hard part is that you're learning to hard counter everything. You're learning to do things the hard way with her. And then you might not understand how to do very simple, robust things that you could be doing, or why people are doing those robust things. That's the downside to trying to learn Vanessa first. I think learning Vanessa on the side is really great though. And I think anyone who gets really good with Vanessa will definitely get good at VF, but they just might not see the value of her throw game, which is amazing, or the value of certain other options, because when a lot of fighting games, attack and defend is really it. And like, it's so strongly it that like, that you can still win just that way. And so a lot of Vanessa players have this trouble where a lot of Vanessa players have this trouble when they learn through Vanessa of seeing the core, like how strong the core boxing is, even though she can do it, but they just feel like they're trying to attack their way out of problems, when it's actually a combination of defense, attack, and throw. But she can do it all. But she is also a character that requires precision, because her range, like this backdash evade that I'm doing, is very strong against Vanessa, right? And if I can duck, like she has highs that if I duck them, she's in trouble. Like she might do a mid into a high. And so the knowledge play can be used against her. Her precision can be used against her. But Blurring plays Vanessa very well. And so right now, Blurring is hesitating, and it's messing me up because I'm trying to sidestep, and if the opponent doesn't buffer, sidestep actually has trouble. That was sick. And this is awesome. Blurring's playing awesome here. And I didn't have the range to hit with this low punch, so that was good. I thought I had the wall hit, but it's not close enough to the wall, so that was bad judgment on my part. Bad spatial judgment on my part. Low throw. See, I'm getting countered really good here. I love this. Alright, good game, good game. So Blurring knew to cut me off because he knows I want to use slow attacks to mess him up at the wall. And so he punished me for it. It was a really good game, really good decision making on the spot. And while there was that round where it looked like he was hesitating, he turned it around. The momentum switched and he had confidence, and he's like, I'm going to cut you off. Now I'm going to go slow it down. Now I'm going to be more defensive and not attack into this. And he won. So it was really, really good battle here. I had a lot of fun with that fight. So what about Brad and Leon or Lau? Okay, these are all good questions. They're very good to learn with. However, Leon is harder than he looks. And the lows are going to be attractive for you. So the trap for a beginner with Leon is using too many low attacks without understanding like how you're where and how much to use. But Leon the thing about Leon is he's good when the opponent attacks. If the opponent's very defensive, he actually has to work a little extra hard there, and that's fine for me. But it can be harder when you're learning to understand that. And so defensive opponents might be hard because Leon has got what I call conditional damage. This uppercut is a counter hit launcher, so it requires them to attack for me to read that they're going to attack despite maybe not having the advantage, or that they're using a slower attack than what they should, right? And that's what a counter hit launcher punishes, is the decision is attacking when you don't have that, when you're not backed by the frames, right? And then on top of that, his normal hit launchers are not slow exactly, they're not the fastest, and a lot of characters are used to having faster ones, and he doesn't have it. So what that means is that whiff punishing is actually harder with Leon. So why do I whiff punish well? Because Leon can set up whiff punish. Leon can set up a duck and punish, and he can set up a backdash, and he sees that you attack into it but without the range, then he can hit you with that move. It's kind of hard to do. It's a skill I had to build up a lot, right? And it's hard for a beginner to do, but that is what Leon can do, right? It's conditional damage, and he's got to set up his whiff punishes, whereas some characters like Jackie can just hit, punch and kick at the same time, just punch and kick, no directions. And that's his whiff punisher. Like, he sees somebody make a mistake right in front of him, he sees them whiff in front of him, beat knuckle. So strong, you know. So Leon is a little more technical, and a lot of people get frustrated fighting against Leon because he's setting them up to fail, because he's doing it's a mix of set play and fast play and disruptive play. He can disrupt. He can disrupt. So Leon is cool this way, but it's actually a lot of strong players that play other characters. They'll play like they'll try Leon, and they'll almost always tell me without fail, he is way harder to play than I thought, or like, I don't know how you get people to do this, or I don't know how you get someone to kind of attack in that situation. It's like, I was like, the reason that I'm aggressive is because I want you to attack. And the way I do that is honestly convincing you that I'm mashing, right? Convincing you that I'm attacking out of turn so you can do the attack I want you to do. And then and I have to read when that happens, so then I can sidestep or backdash it. That's what I like to do, right? Or I use backdash because that makes you want to use a slower attack that can reach me, and then I cut it off with an uppercut because that's really fast. So I want to make you do a slow attack so I can interrupt you. That's how I set up uppercut, right? There's two ways to set up uppercut. Get advantage and do it because they're going to hit a button after they get hit, right? After the low punch. So low punch uppercut is the basic way for a beginner to do it. Another way to do it is play in a way that makes the opponent want to reach out and hit you, meaning they want to do a slow attack, and then cut it off with an uppercut. That's the way Leon plays. Brad is pretty cool because Brad plays something that resembles a Tekken game, because Brad is actually good at whiff punishing, and he's good at guard punishment, and he's good at kind of playing it safe with his boxing in a way, and then punishing mistakes. However, these are not exactly the easiest things to do either. Whiff punishing is still hard in VF in general, but Brad is a character very good at it. And actually the input's easy. It's forward, punch and kick at the same time. He does this high elbow. It is a high, but again, we're using it to punish a situation. We're using it to against something that really happened. We're not guessing. They made the mistake. They whiffed in front of us. We do a high elbow right away because they're standing. We don't do it when they whiff a crouching attack. We do it when they whiff like a knee, they whiff a shoulder, they whiff an uppercut, and then we can go wham and then combo them. Brad's really good at that. Brad is good at guard punishment too. Guard punishment doesn't come in this game as often. Think about it like there's these big attacks that are strong, but because they can be punished on guard, a lot of Americans especially are afraid to do them. Now I do think that this is not the correct way to approach using a move like that, because I'm going to tell you how Asian players and Japanese players at the high level, but also the developing levels in those places, do it. We talked about how interactive Virtua Fighter is. We've talked about how I'm trying to get an idea of what you're likely to do, and then I'm gonna counter that. My decision is supposed to be based on how I think you're gonna play. It doesn't have to be specific. I just have to have a general idea of the way you're gonna play. Like, are you gonna attack or are you gonna defend? Right? And I don't have to worry about throw because I treat that like attack. That's the mashing thing, right? Like, are you gonna mash? Or are you gonna defend? Because I have advantage. Are you gonna mash or are you gonna defend? And so we've talked about that. So I'm losing track of what I was saying because I had a really good point. But basically, this is the core in VF, is that type of decision making. Guard punishable attacks, launchers, normal hit launchers, big knee attacks that give you combo. Okay, when do you use them? In America, as I said, a lot of people are risk averse in the sense, like, they want to sucker you with it. They go, I want to do this move and never get punished. I want to do this move and never get punished. This is the way most Americans would think. Most Westerners, what Europeans too. Okay? And there's a problem with this. This means they might only do this 1, 2, or 3 times in the whole match. When I fight in Asia, do you want to know how they actually play? And do you want to know, like, what makes them learn it faster? They will do the launcher until you guard punish them twice. They will do it until you prove you're going to punish it. The American is so afraid of being punished, they're like, I want to be sneaky. I want to do this thing, but I want to be sneaky, you know? And they end up not being good at using the move, and then the whole meta ends up being bad at punishing the move because it almost never comes out, and it's not worth your time to try to focus on punishing something that will never come out. This is like never doing Dragon Punch in Street Fighter, you know? But in Japan, I'm gonna do this because I've got a full life bar. If you punish me, I'm not dead. But when you punish it once, maybe it was a fluke. Twice, okay, you probably can punish it. Now I'm gonna change what I do. And I'll bring it out at certain times, but I'll get a sense of where I can use it. Fish for information, play with information. Players in the East, for whatever reason, I kind of know when I fight an Asian player online because of that. Because they're using 6K until I punish it twice. Now, actually in this game, guard is not the main punish for that launcher. Sidestep is. Guard, if I guard like a normal hit launcher, I'm probably gonna do about 60%, 65% of the damage that launcher was threatening to do with the combo. My punish will probably be like their launch was trying to score, like, let's make it high, 80 damage. And my punish is probably doing 45 or 50. In poker terms, that means you should do the launcher more. Okay, is there a way to punish it in a bigger way? Yeah, there's 2 ways. Well, there's one way, but done in 2 different ways. And then there's more, but the main way to punish with high yield is make it whiff. You can make it whiff with a backdash. You can make it whiff with a sidestep. And in both cases, you probably are able to launch them and do the same damage, sometimes more damage. And so sidestep is actually the really big punish for launchers, but a well-placed backdash can be too. But what I do want you to understand about backdash really quick, just a quick aside, is that the closer you are, the worse backdash is, the riskier backdash is. The further you are, the more secure backdash is. However, you want to make them whiff, so you want it to be effective. So, like, let's say mid-range is a good range to do it. When we're a little bit spaced apart, backdash is pretty good. It does have risk. I can totally get knocked out here, but I have a higher chance at causing them to whiff if we're at mid-range than if I was close range. Now, Mid-range is also good because if I backdash and cause them to whiff from the mid-range, I can probably still do really good moves that will punish them badly. If I'm far away, I can't really do that. I can really just apply pressure because I'm too far away and all the attacks I have from far away are slower. And so it's probably not going to definitely hit them. It's probably going to just apply pressure to them and that's it. So I hope that concept makes sense and I hope that explanation makes some sense. The further away you are, backdash is going to work better, is going to work more. But an effective backdash causes someone to whiff but allows you to do things with the whiff.
Round 3.
And if you're closer to them when they whiff, that's better. But that said, I went to so many tangents, so I know that got confusing. Okay, you asked about Leon, and I said Leon is kind of technical, but he's fun and he is strong. And at the low level of play, you will get lots of results with Leon because of the lows especially. And because you'll definitely get your combos off on people. Intermediate is where Leon has to learn a lot of stuff. And then intermediate and advanced is where Leon has to really, really build a lot more technique. And maybe the thing about Leon is Leon kind of has to read a bit more. He can't just sit and win by outplaying. He has to kind of make an interpretation of the opponent's play. He doesn't have to perfectly read them, but he needs to be able to tactically disrupt what they're doing and kind of play a little more complicated. And that's why the high level players, when they do try Leon, feel he's actually kind of hard for them to use, because when they were Jackie, they saw a whiff and they just beat knuckled it. They had powerful setups that the opponent had to work around. Leon has setups, but they all put him at moderate risk. So Leon makes a lot of risky decisions. So he's hoping to make a lot of good decisions to get his success and to set the opponent up. Now Leon is really good at ringing out, and Leon is good at wall, is solid at the wall, is good at the wall. I'll say good, but I wouldn't say he's nowhere near the best at the wall. But he's good at the wall, and he's good at really good at ringing out. I would argue he has a case to be made as being the best ring out character. Kage is usually given that, and Kage is definitely one of the best ring out characters, and arguably the best. But I think Leon is actually about almost as good as Kage, or as good as Kage at ringing out, because Leon can combo and move people pretty far, but Kage can do it too. Kage is just very technical about it, but Kage has a throw. That robust throw is what really threatens it, and it dictates the game hard enough that people have to work around that throw. So Kage is interesting. All right, let's talk about, we talked about Brad he's a defensive character. You use, in this game, proper defense means that you defend and you counterattack, because that will force them to give you information, and that will also stop them from just doing what they want. You use your frames, like blocking and doing an elbow is defense. It's defensive technique. I block you and then I did an elbow. That is an example of proper defense. Not just blocking and waiting. Not just blocking and waiting for something stupid. Not just blocking and waiting for them to make a mistake. In this game, you're just giving them more room to find a way to crack you. Blocking, striking back. Blocking, throwing. This is the proper way to defend in Virtua Fighter at first, and then you work from there, because they're going to find ways to disrupt doing those things. They're going to learn a technique called fuzzy guard. Fuzzy guard means when I have a small advantage, the opponent can fuzzy guard, and if I had done a throw or an attack, they'll probably defend both, but there are ways to beat fuzzy guard, and that's something you'll learn. And fuzzy guard is a trickier one because it's harder to apply in matches when you're a beginner, but it's so strong and important that it is one of the principles of good play. So one of the principles of good play is that when you can fuzzy guard, it's a really, really good option to do. Not the only option, and you don't just do it because it doesn't make you win. But fuzzy guard gives you a lot of, it allows you to stabilize the situation. Doing the mid attack when you have advantage, that's a stabilizing play. Keeps the board state stable. Makes it so this is on my terms a bit more. Makes it feel like a turn. It's not a turn, but it makes it feel like a turn. Fuzzy guard does the same thing on defense. When I have a small disadvantage, fuzzy guard, or even in the neutral if I'm good at it eventually, which is what I am good at doing, fuzzy guard will make it more stable, make it more like, how are you going to get through this? This is like a good person in your face who's got really good defense. Fuzzy guard is like that. Just like a person who's pressing you every time you are at a disadvantage, they're pressing in, so you can't really do much. You're more likely to defend, or you have to really outread it. That's what doing a mid attack when you have advantage does. That's proper defensive play in Virtua Fighter. It's a back and forth. It's a two-part step. If you, but understand that you don't get all this free stuff. You have to build the big stuff. Like if you want to combo somebody, it usually happens because you predicted when they were going to try to throw you, and so you launched them when they tried to throw you. It happens when you cause them to whiff, and you're sharp enough to launch them. And later on, because they're delaying, because we're playing this mind games, and we're like, this right, and then you have a sense of when they're going to strike, and then you're like, okay, they're about to strike right now. Right before they strike is when I strike, so I can interrupt them. That's the higher level play. That's the tempo play. That looks like high level Tekken play. Is when we're respecting each other's offense and defense enough to where now we're just playing neutral and we're playing a timing game. It's boxing, right? It's boxing. To be good at Virtua Fighter, like Virtua Fighter, every character wants to be good at boxing, using that high jab, that low punch, the elbow, and the throw, and defensive techniques like fuzzy guard, right, and sidestep. Okay, that's boxing. Second thing you want to be good at in Virtua Fighter, grappling. So let's talk quickly about grappling technique. When they want to defend is when throwing is pretty good. And here's the cool thing about throwing in Virtua Fighter. Throwing is faster than attacks. It's like 10 frames, and most characters' fastest attack is 12 frames. They can't really react to throws in this game. It's not something you react to. It's something you just actively defeat by guessing, or you mitigate by escaping the throw. And if you know Kage is gonna do his 10-foot toss throw, you know when he's going to do it. The answer actually isn't to escape the throw. The answer is to use the rock, paper, scissors, is to attack him. But while you're defending, you can actually, in this game, you can defend and escape throws at the same time, and it's a guess. So the guessing game of escaping throw is just to make your defense stronger from throws, to make them have to guess which throw to use, so that they just don't. Otherwise, this game would be a nightmare if there was no throw escape, right? Then every time that they're going to guard, they feel like wrecked by throw. But this game gives them a chance to escape the throw with a three-way guess. It's either going to be a forward throw, a neutral throw, or a back throw. You know? And I just have to I just have to build it into my defense that anytime I guard, I'm also escaping a throw, because in this game I don't have a timing requirement. It's built in. I can hold a guard throw escape the whole round, and they can never do that one throw against me. I can hold forward, guard, and punch the whole round. Kage can never 10-foot toss me. It's not about the throw escape beating the throw. It's about making the throw less effective against my defense. But if I know he's going to throw me, that's when I should attack. I should actually defend so well that he just feels like he has to throw me, and then I go wham, sucker punch him. That's Virtua Fighter. Okay, so Two Scoops asked an awesome question. Is back crouch dash a decent alternative to backdash, like if you're closer? Okay, for most developing players, crouch backdash is the worst movement option. Let's talk first about why it's the worst, and then let's talk about where it's good. It's the worst movement option because when you get hit out of a backdash, including a crouch backdash, one, you get counter hit. Two, if it's a side kick, you're gonna lose half your life to a combo. Right? High risk. Crouch backdash moves less far than backdash. And so the risk is higher. The closer you are to the opponent, the riskier crouch backdash is, and backdash is riskier than crouch backdash is riskier than backdash. Okay, so why crouch backdash? What's the important point? At a higher level or at intermediate or advanced, the important thing to understand is that is the same principle I talked about before. When I backdash, if I'm using it to set up a whiff punish, specifically that, because I can use it for many reasons, but one of the reasons is to set up a whiff. If I'm setting up a whiff, the closer I am to the opponent after the backdash, the better, because I have more options. So then why not just crouch backdash all the time? Because the risk is really high. Okay, so then when do you use crouch backdash? The way that I would frame it now is the more accurate my opponent's spacing is, and the more accurate I am with spacing, the better crouch backdash is. And so if you're good at spacing, and especially if your opponent's also good at spacing, crouch backdash can be really powerful. In this game, let's also talk about speed versus distance as a relationship. Closer I am, more options. Fast options are immediately scary at close range. We get further out, some of these fast options like low punch whiff. So they get worse. And the more likely we are to use elbows and side kicks. When we're this far away, there's not many options that attacking right away doesn't do much, but it's going to be a mid or a high, and Leon does have a long range low, but it's very slow. It doesn't look slow, it's actually quite slow. So the further we are, the more we have a sense of what attack the opponent is likely to do, and if they want to adjust that, they have to dash in and then do an attack. And so the further we are, it's easier to sort what happens. That's why things are not effective at long range, because it's easier to predict what's coming from long range. Okay. Crouch backdash, we have spacing. So when I'm at this elbow range, crouch backdash might be the perfect thing if I have a strong sense of the way they play. So now let's talk about predictability in relation to all this. In most fighting games, you've had that friend, sometimes you're that person where you min-max everything. Oh, when I have this advantage, I should always do this attack. The problem with that is range, ways to play around that attack. In this game, predictability, everything has got multiple answers to it. So predictability is the weakness. If you're min-maxing, you are way more predictable. You need to min-max, but you need to do it with a little bit, it needs to be more well-rounded, and it needs to be open to option B, C, D, E, F. And sometimes option C becomes good because it deals with two things your opponent likes to do. There's a lot of that in this game. There's a lot of carving out the mix-up. He is mixing up this way, and you find an answer that beats both, or that makes both pretty bad. That's powerful. VF is loaded with that. This game is loaded with that. This game rewards creative play. This rewards experimental play. This game really rewards trying stuff out. But again, back to crouch backdash now. The opponent is predictably poking back. And so let's talk about conditioning terms, so we're not talking about reading now. Reading is when you know what your opponent's gonna do. Conditioning is you're pressuring the opponent to do something. So boxing, I talked about boxing, right? A common tactic is you box, and you really, if you believe in your boxing and you're good at it, so you box a lot, and at some point your opponent's gonna box a lot too, because this is their way. This is their way to get out of this hell. If you're outboxing them, they gotta realize they gotta box too. Now they could do inboxing, they could do outboxing. Inboxing is forward boxing, outboxing is setting up whiff and then boxing out. Okay, but if you get them sucked into the boxing, backdash becomes way better. Now, we're boxing mid-range, and because of the range, they're changing their attacks to be fast, but it's gonna reach me. Crouch backdash suddenly becomes really good. You know, crouch it's like a sway back, right? It's the same logic as a sway back. You're just like, crouch backdash is a universal sway back in this game. It's like, oh, I know what you're doing, sway back, launch you. That's when crouch backdash is good. Sarah is susceptible to the outboxing because she does have moves that beat long range, but you know how much she fully commits to them, and if they get sidestepped, she's usually in trouble, right? Same with Vanessa. Vanessa has trouble dealing with outboxing, right? And then in inboxing, she has trouble with that. If she does her strings, she has highs in them, and the opponent just ducks in there and like punishes her, right? And so the outboxing and the inboxing can be tough because Vanessa is what I call a precision character. It means her moves are really good at beating very specific things, but they might not be robust. Like an elbow is robust, and her elbow on her offense stance is good, but it's short range, so it better be counter hitting to use that short range, right? Because what it is it's interrupting their attack that brought them into the range to get hit by this elbow, right? And this is hard for a lot of Vanessa players to learn because the elbow looks like a bad move when they've got these moves that if I know what move you're doing and I do this move, it beats you and I get a lot of damage. So I want to always do damaging things. But in VF, this boxing is about doing low damage things to win situations, get the advantage, use the advantage to do the powerful things. And then the opponent is predictable when they have advantage, so I use their predictability to set up high damage setups. And this game does all of this. You can play however you want within this framework. And that's why I think this game is rewards creativity. And I think this game is very fun and dynamic. It feels chaotic because maybe in some other fighting games you play, you don't exercise thinking guarding is separate from moving. You're like, well, when I move away, I guard. Right? Back to block. Why do people, I have met people who love fighting games say, I don't do guard button. But they also love Smash Brothers. And I'm like, Smash Brothers is guard button. So, but I'm not trying to call BS on it. What it is they like that feeling because it's good design on 2D fighters and Tekken. Back to block, the cool thing about it is it's like an all-in-one defense package. And then in Tekken, you learn Korean backdash as a super special all-in-one defense package. And that's fun. VF actually does have that in Fuzzy Guard, but Fuzzy Guard is you crouch dash forward and you guard. I'm going to duck the throw, I'm going to block the higher mid. I'm going to duck the throw, I'm going to block the higher mid. But this to me feels like actual boxing in real life. This is like fighting against Ippo and he's getting in your grill because he went in there, and if you messed up with your hook or your uppercut and he weaved around it, and he's going to hit you really hard, right? And so maybe you just clam up and you just say, I'll just stay on guard or I won't swing yet, but I'm going to find my moments, you know? And I'm going to use the jab to control because the jab in this game is like a boxing jab. It's actually good at disrupting people that sidestep predictably. It's also good at disrupting guard because it's plus on block. And the jab, like, is that thing where we're using it to set up the situation, to control it. It's a controlling punch. And it can be a feint. We're far away. I'll throw the jab, and he tries to whiff punish, and it's not going to whiff punish the jab. So then I get to nail him. Feels like fighting to me. Yeah, it feels like fighting to me, right? Okay, yes, Kilmore asked about Lao, so let's talk about it. I love playing Lao, but Lao is technical. So what I will say is that Lao is an awesome character. I like playing as Lao, but here's the trouble, though. The fast attacks for most characters are the attacks, and Lao too, are the attacks you kind of need to learn first and how to use and apply. And it's true with Lao too. And you do it in a general way too. But Lao's way of doing a lot of damage, or it can be tricky. Some of these moves are slightly less robust in the fast range because they're very specific at what they're good at, but not in the way like Vanessa. It's just that they're just slightly technical to get the high reward on them. And so because of that, what happens is that Lao if you're as a Lao player learning Virtua Fighter and your opponent's mashing low punch will actually stop a lot of things that feel like good pressure plays from Lao at a low level. But you will also learn how to deal with low punch in many ways, and then you'll learn how to get the opponent to be more defensive so that you can apply your pressure as Lao. Lao is really strong if he can get the opponent into the tempo play. But that's not easy to do in VF. Even though it's easy to do in a lot of games like Street Fighter, it's really easy. It goes straight into it. Virtua Fighter, it takes quite a bit. So that's where I'd say play Sarah and then play Lao. Because that'll help you understand it. That'll help you understand your opponent, the flow, the general flow. Lao's flow is good, by the way. So it's that you can learn with Lao, but you're gonna feel less rewarded from it with him at first. But his 6K works out, and he does play the normal game normally. But some people might feel like he's boring at this play because the plays on the immediate stuff there is less exciting, but he's actually very exciting when you start learning technical play with Lao. He's amazing. Like, he is a skill rewarding character. I love playing Lao. He helped refine a lot of my fundamentals too. So Lao can end up doing things like his duck and punish is really good. Not easy to do. You will feel so rewarded, and it is so strong. It is one of the things he gets. And then when we get into tempo play, when you are able to start pressuring your opponent with a 20 frame attack instead of a 15 or 16 frame attack, but a 20 frame attack, Lao becomes very good. And how do you do that? Well, you get good at the boxing so that they get defensive. You get good at a variety of tools, and then now you start sensing that they're gonna start watching you. You get them to want to watch you, and when you get them to start wanting to watch you, then Lao can start slipping in and apply pressure with some of his very best moves. He is truly rewarding and exciting, but I do think if you come into Lao already understanding a lot of the general fundamentals of VF, I think very quickly you will build the skill set that he has. Now, he does have a fast guard break that's really powerful. It's really good. He can be played at a low level really well. It's where at intermediate and early advanced that I feel that Lao might feel boring to the player, and then he gets super exciting if you realize what other games he can do and how to set up his slower moves and how to how to be good at guessing on quote-unquote unreal guessing games, you know, because his stance game is pretty good too, but it requires you gotta be comfortable committing to reads a little bit, and then you can do that. But that said, he's actually really good as a turtle player, as a chicken player. Not turtle, chicken. He is a good chicken player actually too. He's a good chicken character because he can do like this back punch, which turns him around and runs away, and he can kind of try to wait and try to bait mistakes. There is a way to play that way with him. It's not easy, but there is a way to play that way with him, and that playing that way will help open the opponent up to doing slow stuff, which will allow you to do 20 frame attacks too. So he's an awesome character in my opinion. He's trickier to teach though. He's kind of hard to teach because you might not feel as rewarded because there's some skill requirements involved that are trickier skills. These are not like obvious skills. These are things that are a little trickier. It's playing with timing is when you really open up like his most robust setups, but then playing with like understanding pressure and being sharp on some frames is how you can really trap people with his stance game. But if you don't do that, them mashing low punch will probably stop you. Them mashing low punch will stop a lot of these games. So then it's a lot of how do I get them to not mash low punch, you know? Now mashing low punch is generally bad, and he has ways to crush it, true. But I'm talking about how do we get to the advanced level of Lao to where we really see what this character is capable of. Low punch will stop a lot of it, and that's why you will feel like it's hard to do until you start learning how to make the opponent be more patient. And that takes a lot more than it sounds. That's like months of play at least, you know, to really sense that. Maybe a year for some people, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years for some people. But I think it's well within a year for everyone, with depending on how much time they can spare to work on it and how much they're willing to fight different opponents that they would lose to. But I do think Lau is one of the most skill rewarding characters for me. I didn't expect to enjoy playing him so much, but I do think he's made me a much better Virtua Fighter player because of the tempo play that I want to play with him to do what I want, because of wanting people to do high attacks and getting them to do a high attack so I can punish the high attack because he's so good at that. So yeah, so that's the answer on Lau. I hope that makes sense. I know these answers are tough because here's the thing about Virtua Fighter. It's really important to understand. Street Fighter designs in a good way. Okay, so I'm not dissing Street Fighter here. Street Fighter traditionally, especially the older Street Fighter games, but in general, the characters are the strategy. The characters are built strongly on signature moves that represent the strategy of how you should play that character, what they're about, how to win with them, how to try not to lose with them, because they got weaknesses because they're built as a strategy. They're like decks in Magic the Gathering. It's a narrow strategy. How do we execute this narrow strategy and win? Most games are like that. Tekken is like that too, to a degree. To a large degree, Tekken's like that. Okay? The characters are the strategy. That's why it's easy to teach. It's easy to have a video. How do I play this character? Well, this is what you want to do, because this is how you destroy people with this character. And then it's about, how do I deal with people that stop that, right? Very easy. That is a very intuitive learning process. So why does VF get a little trickier there? And why do VF players say it's kind of actually easy to learn VF when it's not? But you know what I mean. But they're going to say that, okay? And it's not that they're lying. They're not lying. VF is a systems-focused game, and it's what it is that the concept of VF is that each character represents a martial art, a system of fighting versus a system of fighting. This is Mantis boxing. This is boxing. This is kickboxing. This is Shaolin. They all have a fastest high jab. They have a low punch. They have something like an elbow. They all have some things. They've got uppercuts. They've got side kicks. They've got standard moves, but with a different flourish. And then they've got very specialized attacks. And they've got signature attacks too. But I can't win just using signature attacks. Yeah, because you got to learn how to box. And you got to learn how to grapple. And I didn't tell you guys the third part. The third part is you got to learn how to mix up. And mix up is not 50-50. I'm just going to say that right now. Mix up is what I've explained the whole video though. Mix up is understanding the decision making and then forcing your opponent to guess between whether they're going to mash or they're going to defend. Right? That's mixing up. And then you can learn to play the reverse mix up. The crazy thing about this game, okay, Tekken Heat, you really can't counterplay that. You can only defend it. And if you guess wrong, you're dead, right? That's not what VS mix up is. VS mix up is we're playing serious rock, paper, scissors. And I've got two really good options against you, or I've got these options. Which one do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm going to attack you, or you think I'm going to throw you? And here's the thing. If you guess right, you could do it defensively and passively, but you could do it aggressively. You can outguess from being minus, which is why I said, if they want to throw you, you launch them. If they want to attack you, well, characters sidestep is a punish, but also you have Sabaki attacks that will disrupt if you know exactly which attack they're going to use. He's going to use a knee or a kick. I've got to kick Sabaki. It beats both. And you know what? It will beat throw too. So if his mix-up is knee or throw, this one attack beats both. Right? And so the opponent can fight their way out of a paper bag, and so can you. In this game, you can fight your way out of a paper bag. This game is system of fighting versus system of fighting. So the point is this. Every character in Virtua Fighter has all the tools they need to win all the situations. They are complete toolboxes. They are complete sets of moves. They are not just the strategy that defines them. It's not, I have to dive kick. It's not just, I better get good at using projectiles. I'm not just a Shoto. I have those things maybe, but I've got the tools to deal with all the other stuff in a very strong way to a degree, because I'm a striker, I'm a grappler, and I can mix stuff up. That's not saying the other games don't have that. Street Fighter 6 is a very robust game. Street Fighter 5 and 6 are very robust fighters, right? But they have very common general situation, and so it's all about that general situation. VF is about the general situation too, but there's a lot of flourish because of the extensive move list. And because in this game, I would argue, more than 99% of the moves in this game are actually quite useful. It's just, they might not be the best for one use case or two, and they might not be the best for all, but they're useful. And there are times when they might be exactly what you need against the way this opponent's playing, or the way this opponent's playing is definitely going to lose to this kind of technique. It's a game with a lot of technique, and this does make it scarier because of how open it is, but it also makes it liberating to me because I get to come up with creative ways to fight. And even if you guys see kind of the same combos from me, I think sometimes you'll see that I'm actually changing up some of my approach, and sometimes I'm doing the same approach because I want the opponent to get, but then you'll see once the opponent answers it, I change my approach. This game works in seasons. This move is good now because the opponent's playing this way now. Later on, this move could be bad. It doesn't mean I throw it away. It means I set it aside and I'm using these other moves because the way they're playing now, these are pretty good. These are a little better. And I can still do what I did before. They're still strong, they're robust. The boxing is robust, so the boxing never falls out of fashion. It's just that the opponent might outbox you if you're trying too much to inbox, right? But it still feels like boxing. There's still, it's not like one directly counters the other. It's about how well we execute this technique, and we're fighting because it's fighting game. That's what I love about VF. So I hope that made sense, and I hope it sounds exciting. To be honest, I know that can sound scary. There's a lot of people who come into VF and they feel like everything's scary because you're actively thinking about carding. Earlier, I also said that Virtua Fighter's Korean backdash exists in VF, but it has fuzzy guard, and that is a forward-moving thing. In this game, forward is the stronger direction for defense. Moving into your opponent, you'll have more options. Crouch dashing is really good. Crouch dashing forward, by the way. I mean crouch dashing forward. 3-3, right? Down forward. Really good. Down forward into standing guard. Really good. This, really strong movement. Okay? Very, very strong movement. Because that movement cost me maybe 6 frames. There's no attack in this game that is 6 frames. They're like 12. Fastest is 10 and it's a high. You know, fast is 11, it's a high. 12 frames is the only thing that's like touching a crouch, you know? And that's like low punch. And I can still guard it. I can still do crouch dash forward guard. You know what's beautiful about a guard button? Movement and defense can be 2 separate things that work together. And then I can whiff punish. I can crouch dash, whiff punish because I saw it whiff. Crouch dash, guard because I see an attack coming. Crouch dash, watch what they're doing. They didn't do anything, throw them because it's really fast. It's liberating to me to have a guard button and this game using dashes as the primary movement. Because I can move in and fight, and I can move in and react, or I can move in and guess. Yeah. All right, let's read what people are saying because I think people are enjoying that. So Kilmore also said, okay, thanks for the explanations. So it seems that Sarah is the best candidate to learn the basics, and I don't like her style very much. Okay, but I'm okay to play her to understand how the game works. It's fine if you want to play like a heavyweight character. Jeffrey is great right now. Jeffrey is another good character to learn. I actually do think Jeffrey's good to learn with. You do want to value throws, and actually every character, no matter who you play, you want to get good at throwing. Again, get good at boxing. We can always, I got many videos about it, but I can always talk about it. So get good at boxing, get good at grappling, and then get good at mixing up. These are how you get good at VF. After that, there's more, but these 3 are the core. and these three interweave with all the other stuff too. Like if I talked about get good at the tempo, well, that's just a combination of from the boxing really. It's just an extension of the boxing. But get good at boxing, good at grappling, get good at mixing up, and every character does it some way or another. Does it in many ways. All right, let's see what else. Two Scoop said one weird thing about VF movement is you can hold up or down to just slowly cycle around your opponent. But does anyone actually do that? Not so. Okay, so walking in this game is generally not so good. At high level, walking can set up certain setups. So walking is a precision movement that is rarely used, but it can be used for setting up a particular whiff. Like there are sometimes you can knock down with a certain combo and then just hold back to walk and then strike. And also, but a lot of times when the manual up and down movement, usually that's not as good, but there are some setups that actually work with it. But ECD sometimes works just as good. So it is a good point. I actually like the walk movement that's in the game, and I do like that the game encourages you to dash. I would not be surprised if walking if they do get rid of walking and you just hitting forward is dash. But I think it causes interesting input. It causes interesting design challenges if you remove walking. Actually, it's not bad. It's very workable, but what will the game look like? It depends on how they design it, but I think it would create an interest. But I do think it's an interesting design challenge to eliminate walking. I do think there is a use for always, and I honestly, I would not be surprised if the new VF wanted to even use analog stick, but I don't think it's gonna. It's gonna be digital, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did go analog stick. And it could be cool. We will see. We will see what they do. I don't want the game to play too much like a beat 'em up because people won't think of it like a fighter, but we want them to think of it like a fighter in a way. But we do want it to be very fun and approachable, so we'll see what the new VF does. I love this game. I see myself playing this game for the rest of my life. In addition to the new Virtua Fighter, just because I am okay if they make dramatic changes on the new VF, but I do hope yes, it would be best if the new VF is approachable, wonderful, and makes me want to play that instead of this. That would be the best case scenario. But I love playing this, so I'm happy with the rest of my life because this game exists. But we'll see what happens in the new VF. But the walk speed is a tough one. Soul Calibur does do walk speed pretty good. Soul Calibur does it pretty well, very well. Dead or Alive, not so bad, right? Dead or Alive, pretty good too. So it's something to think about, and we'll see if VF wants to do it or not. I like VF's directness though. I think there is something about the design in VF where it can convey that, but I do think that creates challenges for how you get the casual player to kind of do these things almost automatically through their gameplay experience. That's going to be the challenge then if we maintain doing the dash movement system. But I like the dash move system. I think it's really core. I think it's what creates a lot of important things in this game actually. But we'll see what they do. Yeah, and then Socrates said basically what I said later, which is that the walking is used for very particular setups and very specific things, but it's not really used as a general movement option in this game. It's pretty vulnerable. In a way, this game wants you to be active on decisions, and it reinforces how this game wants to play. Now, we'll see what the new VF wants to reinforce how it wants you to play. We'll see. Because when we're talking about the game being more open and accessible, it means it implies a less of that. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Obvious Creed says you're back against the wall against the Laos. Yes, Lao's wall game is very good. Yeah, it is. Can confirm. Yeah. Was there a Lao at VFOC? No, but there's only room for so many players. But Lao is represented at the highest levels of Virtua Fighter with players like Wasakon and Hepoko Lao, and there's a lot of amazing Lao players, and Lao is very popular in Asia. Lao is especially popular in arcades. Now the thing is, because Lao is seen as a skill character, during Virtua Fighter 5 esports, or for us Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, with the delay-based netcode, there were a lot of Lao players that did not like playing online. Now I think Lao can still play awesome online, but it is like, again, it's but he's that character where when you play offline with Lao, there is that sense that you don't want to feel any delay or anything like that, you know. I think rollback netcode, we are seeing a little more Lao than we saw online than we saw during Ultimate Showdown because of this. Because I did know that I think there was a lot of Japanese Lao players that just didn't want to play online. They just would go to the arcade and play. Because Lao is a character that's gonna reward your reflexes, by the way. Like some powerful things with Lao does request that you use your reflexes. It feels so good. When I say Lao is very skill rewarding, I think you guys know what I mean. Yeah, so Killmore, don't be afraid to switch characters as you learn. Have fun with the game. Try different characters. Trying different characters will teach you a lot about the game. And so I do recommend playing a variety of characters. I definitely recommend having a singular focus, or at least a set time period where, like, I'm definitely going to focus on this character for this time, but if by the end of this time it's not working out, I will switch to who the main character is, and in the meantime I will also play around with other characters. I think this is a very healthy way to learn Virtua Fighter. Actually, all the characters are used at the high levels, just not everyone's a streamer. Every character is actually very well represented in the Japanese elite level of VF. It's just we don't see all of them, and they're not all streaming too. But they represent. If you watch the tournaments, you'll see them represented. Yeah.
Round one.
Yeah, so Killmore was replying to Obvious Green, said, I've read that Akira is really strong but not for beginners. What I would say is that actually Akira is pretty simple, but the challenges to learning Akira as a beginner is, one, strings are easier for beginners to feel comfortable with, and Akira doesn't have many strings. That's just a small barrier. Akira is going to do single move flows a lot. It's really powerful. But that can feel very dry for a beginner. Now, some of Akira's techniques do have an execution barrier. Not the worst, but they're there. It's similar to Just Frames in some games. Their own spin on it. So Akira is less accessible if you're trying to do every move in his move list consistently. And so there's an execution hurdle, but it's not as big as people say, but it's there, and it's not exactly beginner friendly for sure. So that said, what I can also say about Akira is that the better you get at VF, let's say you've learned Sarah, you learn other characters, the more you can probably appreciate Akira's move list and what he's strong at and how forceful he can be. The way that I sum this up is that Akira is a character who, we talked about the rock paper scissors of the game, but when it comes to attack versus attack, he pretty much wins attack versus attack, like a lot. And so because of that, he's very imposing, and he forces you to guess whether you're defending or attacking, like a lot. A good Akira will really force you to feel that choice like all the time, and it sucks in a way. It's powerful, it's great, but like as the opponent, it feels oppressive. But a beginner doing that with Akira might not understand it. An intermediate might not understand it. Diva is a new player who plays really strong. But you guys also remember my critique where Diva is very good. Okay. I just personally go like, I think if they learned how to use dashing elbow more, or where, or like why it's good, or how intimidating it is, I think some of the risks that they take, I think they would get the same effect with less risk. But that doesn't mean that the moves they're doing is bad. It's not. The moves they're doing are really good, but dashing elbow is such an imposing thing that if you master it, Akira actually feels like an easy character to play VF with, in my opinion. And that's why high-level players will bully people with that dashing elbow like crazy. And it takes a while to get a feel for it, but the more you know VF, the more easy it is to kind of do this. And it's really, really like... And what happens because of that, because dashing elbow is so imposing, it makes throwing and guard break so much easier. The reason people are so afraid of Akira, there's two reasons people are afraid of Akira's guard break, even though it's not even like the biggest high upside one unless it's from the side. One is because they come from other fighting games where back to block, right? And so with back to block, you're just used to guarding is not even a choice, it's just something you do when you move away, right? And it's just something that like is built in, and you've got a really wonderful way to defend. And now we're playing this game where I can move and I can guard, and doing both doesn't really work, doesn't really do it, you know, like it doesn't, because you guard cancel the dash. So learning how to do it, how to interplay that takes a while, right? And then with Akira, you're learning the triangle. You're learning rock, paper, scissors, attack, throw, defend. And anytime we're doing this attack, even when I sidestep, I instantly lose to it. And he's just out hitting me with attack. So now I gotta defend. And now when I gotta defend, he guard breaks me. It's like, what the hell was that? Akira is very scary on imposing that. And a key to that's actually his dashing elbow. His dashing elbow is just so robust. And the thing is when you block his dashing elbow, he gets the fuzzy guard. He can fuzzy guard the moment you do that. So now you gotta like beat the fuzzy guard, you know? And this pulls you off of the defend. This alters your defend choice. Akira is a very powerful character. He's not broken, by the way. It's just that he's designed this way. So for a beginner, he might be trickier to understand and to use properly, and you might want to do different things with him, and they're good. But if you already are strong at VF and then you pick up Akira, you're like, wow, okay, I know what I can do, and I can go straight to some of these more advanced tempo games, and they are very like, I'm dominating with attack, so they got to like really they have to defend better, you know. And then once they're defending better, there's a lot of play with that. And so Akira is very strong, and I would say he's not exactly super hard when you know VF, but when you're learning VF through him, you might have blind spots, to be honest. Different kind of blind spots than the Vanessa blind spot, but it's just that your attacks are so good you might not realize how good they are. It's kind of the real thing. The tricky thing about learning through Akira is you might not realize how good his options are until you play other characters and start to see how good his options are in contrast. And I'm going to tell you the secret though. Why is Akira's attack so good? Why is dashing elbow so good? Okay. Virtua Fighter does have a priority system for attack. If two attacks hit at the same time, okay, well, one, faster attack wins, right? Everyone gets that every game? Attack that hits first wins. Okay. What if attacks hit at the same time? If attacks hit at the same time, the one that does higher damage wins. That's the main rule that governs priority. There are more priorities after that, but the real thing you need to understand is if two attacks hit at the same time, the higher damage attack will win. Akira has attacks that hit a little harder than their respective speed compared to other attacks of the same speed. These attacks typically are mid attacks, so they don't have the weakness of the high or the low. Okay. 3. These attacks are moving forward. There's a higher chance that we're colliding. There's a higher chance of an interaction where we might be trading, and he wins the trade because it out damages similar speeds. His attacks win on priority, and he might not even know it. Just like I'm just that good. You know what I mean? Like you're watching my Leon get out hit by everything, even when I do a backdash setup. But if I didn't time it either to win on speed or to win on whiff, I get like out hit by the dashing elbow, and my 4-4K, my so-called normal hit launcher got out hit by like a basic attack from Akira. So. So, well, I think people say that Akira's playing a rhythm game, and it's because of how strong his attacks are, but it's not really. Like, he still wants to do the rock, paper, scissors, he still wants to throw and all that stuff. It's just that to defend against his onslaught, there's another thing that's funny about fighting Akira, okay? Because the motion is forward punch or forward punch. Here's the thing. I talked about elbows. Akira has the best elbow with his dashing elbow. And on top of that, he has the best dashing elbow with his super dashing elbow. It is nuts. And he also has a standard elbow too. So he's just like the elbow king, okay? And with that, his dashing elbow and his super dashing elbow, funny thing about it, the motions are forward. Okay, and then super dashing elbow, forward punch, right? Forward punch is his super dashing elbow. He has a high chance of accidentally delaying his super dashing elbow. And when you're the opponent and you want to try to sidestep him, you might lose because you evaded before he attacked, which causes a failed evade. And so this super dashing elbow has a high chance at beating it. And sometimes the Akira player doesn't know if he delayed or buffered. It's just incidental. And that delay versus buffer is what can mess you up for trying to sidestep him. Very strong, very scary. And remember, when you block a dashing elbow or a super dashing elbow or an elbow, he gets the fuzzy guard. So this is really, really intimidating. This means he is a bull charging at you. And this also means like he's got an active defense while trying to oppress you. Very powerful. And if you guys trade, he will probably win. If you guys trade attacks, he will probably win. This is why Akira is a bit scary. Now, fighting against him can feel like being a bullfighter. I might backdash to delay my sidestep, and then sidestep so I get it, and then I throw him, and he might not be escaping throw. Or maybe, now if it's not guaranteed to throw, he might mash and win that way. That's kind of why Diva has developed the skill of always doing 4-6P whenever he's kind of in trouble, because it works in this type of situation. It's like, you're not going to get away with throwing me after sidestepping my dashing elbow, palm you, right? And then now you got to play like more frame game and attack with it, or just low punch really. So sometimes then it's just like evade low punch or something like that. But when you know the situations where that throw is guaranteed, it becomes very strong against Akira. Akira's decently strong, not very strong. If you can evade punish him, it's great, but it is hard to evade punish Akira until he commits to doing something ridiculously big. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. This is why Akira's intimidating, but also why beginners might have a hard time getting results with Akira. A lot of beginners do have trouble getting results with Akira. Because you got to master VF kind of first, but once you understand VF in general, though, you might appreciate how strong Akira is, and then you play him in a very strong way. Okay, I think what you meant by Akira's playing a rhythm game is stuff like his Stun Palm of Doom and his Guard Break of Doom probably, and those are powerful tools that you can win with Akira without doing them.
Round 3.
Jean and Kaguya have a very interesting aspect to their game. Jean's game actually is a good transition from Tekken, just like Brad's is, but for different reasons. Kage is quite technical, so Kage is awesome, but he is also a technical character, and so that's where I just caution to the beginner that Kage is a little technical, but he's really fun to play, and if you learn VF through him, you're gonna probably learn a lot of good stuff. Like, I have a high respect for Kage players that are good. I think I think he's a technical and fun character to play. I like playing him myself. Yeah, if you get hit while dashing forward, it's just a normal hit, correct? And yeah, Obvious Creed reinforced what I was saying, that that if you'll go against players that have a completely different playstyle on the same character from another player, and it's very true. And so what Joe though says is big advice. Learning how the player plays is just as important as knowing what the character has. Yes, VF is a player versus player game. It is very player versus player. Now that means you can win by reading, but if you can't read, it's okay, you can condition. Condition's trickier, but condition just means you be stubborn and you force a good option until you feel it's the right time to switch, to mix it up. And that's conditioning can be very powerful. And conditioning can be done with reads, but it can also be done with just kind of a sense of timing, or with like seeing the way the opponent responds as they start hardening up their defense to deal with it. So conditioning is, if you feel like you can't read, it's okay, you can work on conditioning. It's very strong.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Okay, so Shogi Dad says there's a lot of if you go to my playlist, because I always create playlists. So on my main page, there's just a few playlists on the main page. Those are the ones for you to check out. I mainly recommend the Chanchai's Dojo, even though it hasn't had a recent video put in there lately. But the Chanchai's Dojo playlist is the one that has stuff that's meant to be more instructional and more navigating things, and I do talk about concepts in them too. So I recommend the Chanchai's Dojo playlist. Yeah, so Two Scoops doesn't like that guard is used to do the jump. I like this system, but I also know it existed before it. And so I can just tell you that I like the upward direction and guard as the hop, because you guys see me hopping a lot. But what I would say is, Two Scoops, I encourage you to master sidestepping in a precise way, and that you're not like rushing to do your option, but that you're picking your option based on the situation, including guard, right? Right now what's happening is you're probably evading and you want to guard right away, so you're rushing into guard, and that causes you to hop. You don't need to rush into guard. The attacks in this game are slow, so you have enough time to be patient with that sidestep input and to go into guard at the soonest possible time. It's still a wait. So I hope that will help work out for you, but it's kind of tricky, but I think that's the nature of it. I think the nature of it is that you're like, I want to sidestep guard, and you do it right away and you accidentally hop. But I think I found that part of the key technique in this game is just breaking them apart into separate things. ECD as an evade into a crouch dash, not just as I just ECD automatically, but as I just tap evade, and given the time then I input the crouch dash, especially when it's on the buffer. And when you can do that, actually it cleans up a lot of stuff. But each person is different. Each person's hands and controllers are different. So I want to respect, like, physiology can affect things. But generally, I'm saying that in my case, that has helped me more than not, by thinking of the ECD as not as one big technique, but as two techniques I do together. Obvious Create says, it takes a while getting used to how fast Virtua Fighter is, not gonna lie. I think I've adjusted though. I think you've adjusted great, Creed. Keep it up. You really are. And this game is intense, and it is very fast paced. It's not so much that it's fast animation wise, though I think it's reasonably fast. It's that Virtua Fighter is fast because of how rapid the interaction is, and because when you're defending, you're making a decision. That's the main problem I have, I guess. Well, that's the second main problem I have with the turns paradigm is some people think that the turns means I don't do much during that time, or I just hold guard. There's a lot you can do during that time, actually. And sometimes you start learning you can sidestep in the middle of certain sequences, you know? And you can learn to crouch dash in the middle of certain sequences. So this game is just non-stop activity. And I think a lot of people love that about it. But I do think sometimes it's even more non-stop activity than they thought. Okay, awesome. Omni's Creed's like, yeah, they're getting better at buffering stuff, yeah.
Knockout.
Yep.
That wasn't your best shot.
And then Creed says, yeah, just as I see someone do 2P, I already buffer elbow. Yes. So, okay, here's another advice for beginners in Virtua Fighter. One, and this is advice people here have heard many times. One, you want to get numb to people hitting you. When you get hit, it's just a situation. You want to still make a good decision. Don't feel so emotionally charged by getting hit. Don't feel like something was wrong to you. Don't feel the pain of the punch because it's a video game. If you can be calm, or if you can just make decisions like you normally do, even when you get hit, you will be very strong at this game. You'll get stronger faster because you want to be active even when you get hit in this game. Another reason why I tend to not go with the turns approach, because what's implied or what can be overinterpreted from that. Even when you get hit, you can still do something. Should you? Up to you. Depends. But you can still actively decide to guard. You can still sidestep after getting hit if they're plus, if you're minus. It's one thing is you just don't sidestep when you're plus because it automatically fails because of the way the sidesteps work in this game. You sidestep when someone's already attacking. And a good place to do that is when you're really minus. When somebody's got a big advantage over you, well, if you buffer and sidestep, by the time your character recovers and does do the sidestep, they're probably already whatever frames into an attack, or a higher chance they are. Okay. Alright, let's see. Yeah, they're talking about some of the strong Akira techniques, yeah.
Excellent.
But I agree with Agent Oblivion. Is that one frame knee is not exactly necessary, but it's if you're good at it, it's going to give you more damage, which could mean less having to win. That's like a couple situations less than otherwise. So it's good to master, and all Akira players should try to master it, but it's not the end of the world. They can still win a time even if they can't do his one frame knee. Alright, 2 Scoops, thanks a lot and hope you had a good time. I had a great time with you. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Yeah, no, the high level play, Akira can definitely intentionally delay his elbows. He can also accidentally, which is what's so scary. It's so scary that he can accidentally delay attack. Alright, Shogi Dad, I'm glad you checked out the Dojo playlist. Yeah. Well, I talked to everyone in the video, but yeah. Yes, okay, Rushdown Turtle has an awesome video, by the way. Awesome couple videos. So I do want to give a shout out to Rushdown Turtle's YouTube channel. He did like...
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Rushdown Turtle, we don't have as many people that are skilled on graphic design like Rushdown Turtle. And so our videos sometimes are following more of the influencer, the fighting game influencer format too. But Rushdown Turtle made really good videos on top of, Juicebox did it, Dandy J has done it. But Rushdown Turtle really has good VF videos. I'm going to link them because I do want to give them a shout out. They're really good. His explanations are good. I like Rushdown Turtle's communication style. He can be very snarky, but that's usually in chat. In his videos, He can be snarky fun too. But they're very good videos. So let's give a shout out to Rushdown Turtles channel. Please follow, subscribe, like Rushdown Turtle on YouTube as well as on Twitch. Now, I don't see him streaming as much, but his videos are really, really good. Very underrated. Please share Rushdown Turtles videos because they are good. Let it be known that this guy makes really good Virtua Fighter educational content, and let it be known that other people should watch it and like it and subscribe. So I mean, I don't even say like and subscribe on my videos, even though I want you to, and I think you should. I just forget to say it, but I'm not going to forget to say it on Rushdown Turtle. So yeah.
It's like you're moving in slow motion.
I know. I need there's a lot of VF videos that I've been writing scripts to, and I just need to get them out. You know, but I love you and I having our own because Rushdown Turtle has a really great presentation and style and good content. The substance is really good. That said, there is a new really different style of tutorial video that came out recently. It's pretty good too. It probably loads too much humor at the start, but that's okay because that's what gets a lot of people into it. But I worry that people stick around for the memes and they leave out the educational content that actually exists in that video. Because he's addressing in a humorous way the stereotypes of VF. But if you're the type of guy who just checks into a video and leaves after 5 minutes, that's all you'll get from this video. And I'm like, no, watch the actual tutorial. That's really good. But you know, people like to stick around for the memes in social media era. So, but it is a good video if you can watch the whole thing. There is a good tutorial video that came out recently. I can't remember where it is, and it is using humor. I'm not gonna say it's the best tutorial, but it is a good tutorial, and it's pretty fun. And so I want to give a shout out, but I'll give a shout out another day. Today is Rushdown Turtles Day, because Rushdown Turtle definitely does. I want more people to watch the Rushdown Turtles tutorials actually than the other one. But I do. The other one has got a lot of views already, so I'm not going to boost it that much. But I'll share it sometime later because it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I am going to give a shout out to Rental Animator, who has been in our chat and has made amazing Virtua Fighter level 1 guide, and he also made basically what is basically the level 2 guide as well. So let's share that as well. Rushdown Turtle, Rental Animator, you both. Gold star to you both. Oh, what is this? Did I accidentally close it? So we're gonna do Rental Animator's channel because he's got 2 videos on it for Virtua Fighter that are awesome. There you guys go. Man, thank you guys very much for your support. I am gonna call it a day, but really appreciate you all, you know. And I'm also really grateful for all the support and all the questions, and it made it a lot of fun. Thank you very much. I'll keep working on it. There are videos I've been wanting to release so bad, and I just need to. Videos do take up a lot of time, and they the production process. And my production is not fast, so, but I do believe that I can create pretty awesome content. But yeah, rapidly, I don't know. That's something to work on for me personally. But yeah. You guys have a good one. Thank you so much. We're gonna finish we're gonna finish this battle, and then we're gonna find someone to raid while this battle's going on. So let me see. Okay. Windows is such a funny thing. Windows is funny. If you just click on the apps thing, it's just gonna create a new window. It's not gonna even just jump to the window you got. So you gotta love that. Later on, I will shout out Juicebox's video because actually Juicebox's video is also fantastic too. today. Rushdown Turtle, Rental Animator. You are today's VIPs. So, let's see here. Oh no, Diva's PC ran into a problem. Yeah, Taka. So this is the funny thing is some people will be like Taka's shenanigans. I was like, Taka is not shenanigans. Taka is forcing you to play the mix-up game on both sides of that equation right away. You do want to learn how your character punishes Taka though. Like, okay, Taka is a character where you definitely want to learn guard punish because that'll change things. Because there's a lot of powerful guard punishes against him that they gave to his opponents. Alright, we're gonna raid. I think we're gonna raid LD Wells. Hell yeah. Always love LD Wells. But let me double check. In case. Blurring is streaming too. We did raid LD Wells not long ago. Blurring is good. You know what? Let's raid Blurring. Let's raid. Well, I've raided both plenty, but I want to. We do got Godoku Noden. He's quite a character, but he's a strong player. And then there's Magnetic Zeus, right? Magnetic Zeus seems interesting, but I'm going to raid Blurring today. But I am going to give shoutouts to LD Wells. And here, let's raid... Oh no, is Blurring stop? Did Blurring stop? Because he was in the room, he's different. Is he done for the day? It's okay if he's done for the day. He might be done for the day. Let's look at LD Wells. LD Wells. Or as Haya, VF Hayato likes to call him, LD Wellies. Let's see how... Alright. He's watching VF TV right now.
Round 4. Ready?
Let's see. Alright. Here we go. We're going to raid LD Wells. Also, we're going to say thank you very much to Akai. I didn't jump back onto the voice chat with Akai because I was so I was so absorbed in our chat here that I neglected Akai. But it was, you know, you guys, it was a lot of fun. And, but the Akai leagues are amazing, and Akai is always fun to chat with, especially after the leagues. But today I had too much fun chatting with you guys. Alright, here we go. We're gonna raid LD Wells now. And yeah, Rushdown Turtle did talk about how he can't parry Taka's uppercuts. Wondering which parry we're talking about.
Round 1.
Oh, you were playing as Go. Yeah, that's interesting if that doesn't work. That should work, right? Unless it's the timing, unless he's delaying it or something, but even then. Huh. Good to, I have to check it out. Alright, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers, enjoy, and say hello to LD Wells.
Round 2. Ready? Go! Round 3. Ready? Go! Round 4. Ready? Go!
Everyone, have a good one. As soon as this game is over, we'll end the stream. But I had a great time with y'all. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, you can see I'm having a lot of fun. And it's fun seeing how different players are developing their game. You know, whether we're watching Oathbreaker improving their Taka game or finding new elements and approaches with it, and I like that. I think that's necessary to get stronger and stronger, and they're already so strong. Watching A+ Destination improve, and the way they've improved, they've been playing strong for a while now. But it's just it's a thrill. I love fighting it, but also seeing like and then I love coming up with solutions. And now they got to figure out how to deal with the change in approach. So yeah, have a good day, blah blah blah. Cheers. All right, I'll catch y'all later.